Well, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck to Sim live stream today. It's the 13th of September 2022, 33 minutes past 4 in the afternoon. We're back in X-Plane 12 for our second ever stream using this new simulator. Today we're in Estonia, flying from the capital Tallinn to Trondheim. I think that's how it's pronounced in Norway. Our first ever time on VATSIM. I've managed to get a lot of the plugins from X-Plane 11 installed in X-Plane 12. They've all been updated by their respective developers. And we just want to see what's what with the sim. Did a test sector earlier. All things went very well. There are a few issues with the mod at the moment in the new sim. There's still a lot of issues with X-Plane 12's lighting and cockpit lighting especially, and nav lights and external lights as well. But overall, really enjoying the new experience the sim has to offer. Lots more to come, I'm sure, with Laminar research. I've been actually seeing what's on their update plan next. It's actually to fix a lot of the issues people are having with lighting and things like that. But overall, I think it looks pretty nice here. We've got default airports both ends. They both look really good. All the stands are correct. All the buildings are in the correct place as well. It's looking really, really interesting indeed. Hello, Tony DeRolo checking in. Hope you're doing well. Leo Biss, John Padfield, nice to see you here as well. Liam Barwick, I hope you're doing very well, sir. 20 what? Matthew Merchant, you've just gifted 20 memberships. Now, I did a bit of research when this happened last live stream. This is going to go on for a while here. So basically, massive thank you to everyone in chat from Matthew Merchant. 20 of you people in chat are going to become members for a month on the channel, get invited to the Discord for a month, see what's what. This is going to go off now for quite a while. I need to update the membership ping. Oh no. It's going to go off continuously now for at least another 2 minutes. I might have to mute that for a second. That's very generous of you, Matthew. That's basically about 100 quid worth of donation. So thank you very much, sir. Welcome to all the new members as well. Very generous of you. My goodness. Well, I hope you enjoy the members only Discord, guys. I'll let that ping off. I can't turn it down unless I go into Streamlabs settings. I definitely need to update this here. Great to see lots of Alpaca Airways joining. We've got an MD-80 down there. We've got an A340. We've got someone in an airline with a very sporty looking livery. We've got Alpaca Canada over here as well. We've got Alpaca Airways ourselves here on stand 9 here in Estonia with the air bridge attached. There we are. So here's our aircraft completely cold and dark with the air bridge attached. This is absolutely crazy. Thanks for subscribing as well, Denmark 737 Project. This is not going to stop pinging for a while, so I'm just going to go into my settings guide just to turn down the alert volume here, because that is very generous of Matthew, but it doesn't know how to deal with it, Streamlabs.
Approaching minimums.
Let me just turn down the volume here. Alert box, memberships.
Minimums.
There we are. Close. It should be quieter now. Let's have a look here. There we go. It's a little bit more acceptable. Matthew, sorry I didn't know it pinged for everyone. No problem at all, Matthew. Your generosity is very, very kind. I've turned it down now, so just the membership ping's a lot quieter. The other ones should be a little louder still, but that's very, very, very generous of you, and I hope all the new people are going to enjoy their times as members as well. That's incredibly generous there. Are we approaching minimums? Why does it keep reminding us? Is that war approach not stable? Unbelievable. Right, anyway, whilst that carries on pinging and all the other members or new members are joining, we'll enter the air bridge here. This is remember, this is a default scenery here. I cannot confirm or deny if I've been here, but it looks just like it. Yes, the building colours are slightly off, but the layout is absolutely spot on for Tallinn. We're live time, live weather. It sounds like it's just started raining as well. Did that right at the start of the stream. But let's jump on into the ZIBO mod. There we are, through the door and into the cockpit. Look at that. You could argue I've done that before. How many is that up to now? About 12, 13. Do you guys have issues with the ZIBO meta reports not loading? I've not tried that Sim 737 pilot. Bobby, I realise X-Plane has always been the more technical flight sim, while MS flight sims are all about looks, but X-Plane 12 still isn't even close in regards to visuals. Yeah, visuals need a lot more work, and I'm never going to argue with the fact it's never going to look as good as it will in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I mean, I've even got little graphic issues here. Look, it's going a bit fuzzy, but don't forget this is a early access version. It's only just been released. There's lots of updates coming with the sim. Out the box, it's not bad. The clouds are a bit meh. When you're in the clouds, it's nice, but the reflections and the lighting around dusk, really quite like it indeed. There we go. That was the last one. Thank you very much. That was very generous of you, Matthew. I've got to look at a way of changing that membership ping, because that's going to be crazy if that happens again. Right, so let's get the show on the road. Battery on. GPU's on the bus, electric hydraulic pumps are on, landing gear lever is down. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green lights. And this is the first major problem with X-Plane 12. Pop the dome light on, it's still incredibly dark. If I turn the panel lighting up, the background and AFDS flood lighting, it's having no effect at all. In this, at night time it does, but when it's pitch black, but dusk there's just no illumination at all from the background or the flight director system flood lighting, unfortunately. But when it gets a little darker at night time, it looks really quite nice. They just need to fix up there. Level Up's cockpit lighting is perfect. Also at night, yeah, I mean, is that still being updated? But I remember it looking quite good at night, if I remember rightly. Right, so batteries on, electric hydraulic pumps, landing gear lever, we've checked down, and we'll check all the aircraft documentation. Let's check the squibs. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have APU detector and op fault, master caution overheat detect. Let's do the fire test. Wheel well fire warning, engine overheat, wheel well light is illuminated too, so that's all looking good. Onto the overhead panel, emergency exit lights armed. Look, I have AviTab installed. Great to have it back actually. I really missed that when I had the last stream in X-Plane 12. There's a VATSIM event going on in Trondheim today in Norway. This is one of the reasons I chose this section. It's a really cool approach as well. I'm going to take an extra 30 minutes of fuel just in case we have any problems there. So 7 tons minimum. Based off of real weather conditions, I'd probably take standard fuel. There's rain forecast at Trondheim, but nothing that's out of the ordinary or to be concerned about. So I would usually just take 7.1, but because it's a VATSIM event, I want 30 minutes holding, so that would be, let's take 8.2 tons. So we go to fuel, 8.2, and payload, we're going to take 145 passengers today. A random number I plucked out of thin air, and we can start the refueling, and there's the passengers going on board as well. There he goes again. Warriorland, thanks for the 21 months as a member. Hey Sam, hope you're well. I love the rain effects on X-Plane 12, but I can't stop flying the PMDG 738. You've converted me from being an Airbus fanboy. Excellent. Yeah, I think next stream we're going to jump back into the PMDG 737-800, have a bit of fun there. What does that say? Mersey? Synchron, I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, I finally worked out how to get the air bridges connected. All the default air bridges do connect in X-Plane 12, which is pretty cool. Yes, PMDG would be nice to go in, especially just to compare with X-Plane 12, but we all know it looks absolutely beautiful in that simulator. Right, fuel is on the way. We can't put the fasten seatbelt sign on just yet. So just to demonstrate to you, look, if I turn the nav lights off, at the moment, look, you can see they're off here. It's just like there's the green nav light, but if I turn it on, you can basically see nothing. Just a very, well no, but they're non-existent, so they do need to sit sort of lighting out. The same with the landing lights. If you put the landing lights on, they just don't illuminate at the moment, which is a shame, but hopefully they'll be able to do something there. In time, test the attend button, verify the flaps are up, which matches the indicated position. Stab trim cutout switches are normal. Cargo fire test. Forward aft discharged. Fire warning lights illuminated. So we'll put 2000 standby. We've got X-Pilot all working in X-Plane 12 now as well, which is great. Navigraph's updated their plugin, so you know, you can track the aircraft on your charts if you so wish, which is pretty cool. Up here, we'll do the Mac airspeed warning test. Stall warning test, need to wait a little bit longer. So that illumination is quite nice of the dome light, but it's just not illuminating anything in the cockpit. Nav lights, circuit breakers are in, and we can now start the boarding, which is here. Start flight leg. Perfect. Leski, you got the membership gift, but that's no thanks to me. That's all thanks to the generosity from Matthew Marchant. Thank you very much again for that. That was crazy. That's a Twitch thing where people can now gift memberships, which is pretty awesome. Is XPUI PC already compatible? Casey, I think that was a dependent here, but I'm using the old XPUI PC I had for X-Pad 11. I just moved it to the plugin folder because I use it for the overlay. It seems to be working fine, so that's all good by me. Will you be getting the fly-by-wire A380X when it comes? We're definitely trying it out, Daniel Reed. That is for sure. Perfect. So we've done that. Let's see if there's any ATC here. No ATC. There are centres online, but I don't think they cover any of the area around Estonia. No, it doesn't. So we're on Unicom for now. Not to worry. I'll quote the METAR to you. Oh yeah, someone did say the Metar fetch feature isn't working, but you guys know how to get Metar in chat. Now I'll read it to you. So Tallinn 160 at 7, so we can take off of runway 08 today. It's 10k. Overcast at 2,900 feet. Temperature 12 degrees. QNH is 1006. So this is X-Plane's default live weather. On the QNH is set. The MFRA is 1135. This is the height to which we accelerate in the event of an engine failure. So 11:35 is set, clock's correct, everything as it should be, and let's now load up the operational flight plan. I think Avitab looks a little bit crisper now in X-Plane 12, a little bit clearer here, which is good. So Navigraph's been updated, we've got the latest AIRAC installed, that is valid until next month. Which was that? September 8th, October 5th. There we are, so October the 5th. We are in Tallinn, so Echo Tango November. GPS left. And we are routing to ENVM, Echo November Victor Alpha. I don't know if there's anyone here from Norway. Is it Trondheim? How's that for pronunciation? No idea. 1-2 X-ray Papa for the
fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Call sign. You might be able to have a guess of how I came to that. Oops. No, I don't want default ATC. Oh, it's so loud, that PA. I need to turn that down. Routing to Petot. Actually, no, I need to put the setting first. Petot 1 Sierra. From Petot, Kalas. Kellas direct to Oscock. And there's Zulu 255 to Vevod. And then later on we'll expect the Vevod 1 mic straight in on 27 via X-Ilda. Activate, execute. Perfect. Performance then, 0 fuel weights in, 55.7. Alternate is Gardermoen, Oslo Gardermoen, Echo November Golf Mike. Oh, no, what am I doing? Echo November Golf Mike, I don't need to type that in, I'm not in an Airbus. 3 tons is what we need. Cost index 30. We're going to cruise over at 38,000 feet, which is there, 38,000 feet. Top of climb wind is 193 at 35. Top of climb ISA is 2. Database knows that the transition altitude is 5,000 feet here, so that's executed. Performance, we're going to go full 22k. And the real OPT says we could take an assumed temperature of 35 degrees from intersection Delta. There is a discrepancy here of 1.0% with the APU bleed off, so they might need updating some of the performance figures here. It's 1%, but it's 1% higher in this one than it is in the real OPT. So takeoff flat 5, CG is 6 units. Now, bit of a bug in the mod at the moment, guys. I noticed it when I streamed it last week. It's still here. ZIBO is on it at the moment. Basically, there seems to be... the nose wants to come up maybe around 20 knots below VR. It's just wanting to sort of unstick. I noticed it sometimes did that in X-Plane 11. If the trim could be, if it's miscalculated trim, you can find that the nose really wants to come up approaching VR. But what I'm finding in the mod, especially with the profiles of the runways, obviously they've got all curved runways here. I mean, you can already see that the lighting here looks superb. Sometimes with the curves of the runway, it could just flick the nose up. You can see, look, it's like a little ramp here, and that just causes the nose to pop up. So it's just something to bear in mind in the mod. ZIBO is looking to fix that. Jonathan Wiltshire, thanks for the 23 months, loving the PAs from the cabin. Does this mean you're doing updates from the flight deck as well, including we have checked all the doors? No comment, Jonathan. I've never left a door open on a live stream. Who do you think I am? Right. Well, it seems to be raining in the sim, but I have no rain on the windscreen. Yeah, I could definitely hear rain, but there's definitely no rain. And there should be rain sort of ski effects, because it definitely happened there. But well, imagine their dry speed, so 39, 39, 44. I can't see any of the infamous X-Plane 12 puddles. 144 is set, expecting 4,000 feet for the stop altitude, which I'll brief in a second. Onto the overhead panel, yaw dampers on, nav transfer and display switches are normal and auto. Fuel 4 pumps on, check the crossfeed valve. Bright, dim, bright, off, and you see we have a little bit of fuel in the centre tank, 370 kilos, but don't turn on the centre tank pumps with that quantity because, as I mentioned to you many times before, you do risk getting a master caution fuel during the takeoff roll, which for below 80 knots will actually reject the takeoff for, especially as the fuel moves during the acceleration, plus you know, it can uncover the pumps. So they'll come on at 10,000 feet. Panel lighting, we'll turn that up. Circuit breaker lighting, we'll just turn it all up here because it is so dark by default at the moment. Explain 12. Window heat's on, all looking good. Pressurization panel is set as we need it. Trim air's on, voice recorder's on, PAX auto, recircs auto. We're cruising at 38,000 feet. Lighting is set. We'll pop on the flight directors. The heading and courses are set already. Auto brake to RTO. Reset the fuel flow. And we'll do a quick config check. There we are, there's yoke cam. There we are. We always check to make sure we have the takeoff config warning horn sounding. And the rest is all set down here. There we go. Perfect. This thing is so dark, we need to light it up like a Christmas tree. It is incredibly dark, unfortunately. Let's hope they can sort that lighting issue there. Perhaps it's a dry white rain, but I don't think so. Yes, I don't know, guys, if this version of the mod is available publicly yet. ZIBO sends them all to me directly by his private Discord server. This one's the early access 1.1 Delta. He was hoping to rattle off one to fix this sort of raising nose issue, but I think he said he was be pushed for time and didn't get it in time, unfortunately. But as I have mentioned it already, that will be fixed with a future update for you guys to try. Right, so we'll get the APU started. There's no ATC here. APU's on its way. Let's give you guys a little bit of a briefing. Oh, I need to put the home button on there. So we're in Estonia, Tallinn, stand mic 9, pushback using the default X-Plane 12 pushback system. We're just going to make it a straight push, keep it simple. And then we're likely to taxi here out via the main apron to hold point Bravo. I have performance figures from Charlie if needed. So quite a short taxi. There we go. And the SID is the Petot 1 Sierra, so we always check that in the FMC on the second page of the route page. Petot 1 Sierra. Check the transition altitude. Did I put the IRS to nav? I did. It's just taking a long time to align. Transition altitude is 5,000 feet. There we are, that checks in the FMC. And we're going to climb straight ahead until 1,300 feet. So 1,300 feet is a conditional waypoint, so LNAV will automatically start the turn at 1,300. And then we're going to route to 850, 851 Petot. 850, 851 Petot. Climb to 4,000 feet or assigned altitude if lower. Climb to higher level only when cleared by ATC. I've set 4,000 feet here on the MCP, and we can also set it in the FMC as well. Now for that initial turn, just because we don't want to sort of overshoot any turns here, what I'll do, I'll just bring the speed back for 220 knots for that initial turn. So I'll put it to TN 850, 220 knots or below. There we go, so that's executed. Right, we're all pretty much ready to go. I didn't try and install the audio checklist, so we've got this great checklist by one of the members of the channel who's made it public, where the checklist is read to you and it makes sure the aircraft is correctly configured. I haven't seen if, or I haven't spoken to the dev to see if it's updated with Shorty with X-Plane 12, so I haven't installed it yet. So we'll presume the checklist is complete. Everything is as it is, and we'll get on our way. What was the actual distance countdown on the FMC, the IRS alignment coming in? Yeah, so the real aircraft doesn't do that. It's a bit of an X-Plane-ism, I think. Once the IRS alignment is complete, Jonathan, your RMP just basically comes up, your PFD comes alive, your ND, and it just gives you your AMP and RMP straight away. It doesn't sort of count down like that, it's all the way to what your actual RMP value is. It just happened to be on the progress page when you saw that. Well, I don't know if real aircraft does it. I don't usually have a page open. Austin's F4 article, here's now modelled effects of the engine heat pattern and effects of tail and elevator. The F4 nose up 15 knots earlier as textbook. This mod in X-Plane 12 will affect ZIBO. I'm sure that sounds very interesting. A lot of people have been discussing on the X-Plane 12 video I posted talking about Microsoft Flight Sim's flight model. Now, they do have a sort of, is it called CFD or something like that, which basically simulates lift, but from what I understand, it's whether developers use that or not. I think developers like PMDG are using their own custom code, as are, I mean, I could be wrong here, but maybe Phoenix are as well. Whereas X-Plane 12 is very much a proper physics-based simulation. That's what one of the members was explaining to me earlier. So for me, I can't explain why X-Plane 12 feels better. It just does to me, or X-Plane as a simulator, especially in the commercial jet airliners with sweat wings. So yeah, again, love both sims. Looking forward to using both in the future. As I mentioned, most likely to jump back into the PMDG 737 next. Hi Jilly, love the videos. I've recently got the PMDG and found it to be very twitchy. Is that a Microsoft Flight Sim or a PMDGism? I find most aircraft are very twitchy, Jilly, in the ground physics, especially during the takeoff and landing roll, isn't exactly dynamic for me. I do prefer it in X-Plane a lot more, and always have done. So it should be should improve in time. I believe that is something that Asobo said they're looking at. CFD should be better than X-Plane's physics model, blade element theory. That's what I've heard, AstroG, but I think it's the modelling is based off a very flat plane or something. Again, it's not my area of expertise. I'm trying to educate myself on it. But for now, I do prefer how blade element theory works in X-Plane. Right, so we're all good to go. 5 minutes early. Let's get this pushback thing ordered. APU's on the bus, so we can go here. Ground services. Close the doors. There you go. Remembered. Disconnect the GPU. It's ground handling. Let's toggle jetway attachment. There we go. And straight pushback. Let's see what happens. Should be a tug coming at some point. Welcome aboard, Alison Wildman. I hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for joining as a member. Glad you're enjoying the content. You get invited to our members only Discord. I hope you enjoy using the customization chat. Thank you very much indeed for the support. Some effects overdone in Cessna 172 in X-Plane 12, for example. Yeah, that's what someone was commenting. I haven't flown that aircraft for 10 years, but I've always liked how this feels. Oh my god! He's arrived! It's like, which stand am I on? Oh, I'm on this one. Absolutely smashed on the brakes. Oh dear. Hello there.
Hello there.
It looks like it's going to drive into my aeroplane. Hi Tim Skipper, 32 months as a member. Absolutely crazy. Thank you very much.
Release parking brake.
Oh, that was quick. Let me explain 12 and a ZIBO so far. Thank you very much, Tim Skipper. Right, packs off. And APU bleeds on. Master caution. And anti-collision light is on. Parking brake is set. Transponder to out off. Let's just have a little look what's going on around us. We are on... Oh, right, we'll just wait for him to taxi forward because he is just ahead of us. We'll do it all properly there. So yeah, the lighting effects are definitely
Release
there.
parking brake.
Oh no, don't you start. Why is it they always get so stroppy with me in Sims? I will release the parking brake as soon as the Alpaca Canada is out of the way. Frank, yeah, I think except for ground handling and inertia, Microsoft Flight Sim has a problem with the feeling itself. Yeah, I think it's generally very good. I'm not saying it's bad, and as I mentioned in my post after the stream, it is very, very good. I just think X-Plane is better. I debate that the ground handling is not
Release parking brake.
not very good in Microsoft Flight Simulator, or certainly okay, is satisfactory. Whereas again, in X-Plane 12, I've noticed a significant improvement in ground handling. I know it's an area that was worked on there. Please release parking brake. Don't forget to Unicom. No, I shall Unicom. Let me just turn up the sounds here, because it is turned down at the moment. There we are. 22.8, and as soon as he taxis forward, we will commence our taxi. I wonder how long it'll let me do this, or eventually might just bugger off. Towbar is much more common, at least in the US. Yeah, it's still quite common in Europe, I'd say. It depends what airport you fly to, but 80% of the pushbacks are with towbar on the 7.3. Have you thought about releasing the parking brake? Unbelievable.
Release parking brake.
Yes. We'll just wait very patiently for the Alpaca Canada to go. But something's definitely going on a bit. Something's a bit fishy with the live weather. I can hear rain, but it's certainly not raining.
Traffic, Alpaca 9 off kilo, taxi via Bravo, hold short, runway 28.
Oh, Sim 737 pilot, you can use rudder to push left or right for information, really? Very interesting, I'll try that.
Release parking brake.
There he goes. I don't think I need to Unicom for pushback, but I will when I taxi. You know, he's Canadian, so maybe he's being polite and waiting for your pushback, maybe. Right, let's release the parking brake. Parking brake released. There we go. So let me try and steer. Ooh! Oh, wow, look at this, I'm steering. Tow bar's a bit static. And someone's waiting in his Ferrari 458. The Estonian airport manager, maybe. Oh, you can actually steer with the rudder, but if I turn a little bit... Oh, I like this. That's really cool. And the tow bar's sort of moving. Oh, superb. But I don't think that's how he'd be doing it. The tug seems to be going... That's super, I like that. Oh, it does... Tug's struggling. Tug is struggling. Or is he? I don't know. Well, the tow bar is going for the nose wheel slightly. If I go a little bit more on the rudder, maybe? Okay, that is pretty cool. I'm not going to lie.
Tallinn traffic, Nordic 2 Papa Charlie, taxiing to runway 08 via Bravo.
That looks mega, doesn't it? You got to... A bit more pushback, please.
Disconnect.
Oh, bye then!
Pushback completed.
Oh, bye Ferrari.
Welcome.
Oh dear. Oh, wrong one. Oh god. Oh, other professional streamers are available. There we go. Well, I've been dumped on the taxiway. A lot more depth of sound in X-Plane. Starting engine number 1, starter cut out, 2463, 2 stable.
Seat back is upright and that your seatbelt is securely fastened.
Look for an American airline again.
The safety card located near your seat. If you have any questions, please ask your crew.
That is the most annoying safety PA I've heard. Sounds... Raylon? What's Raylon? I've never even heard of that airline. Oh, there we go. Starting out, monitoring engine number 1. 1 stable. Let's do the before taxi flow. Generators on. AP off. Start switches continuous. Propete on. Anti-ice off. Air conditioning, packs auto, AP bleeds off. And set. Flaps to 5. Let's check the flight controls. Full forward, full back, left and right. Here comes the rudder. Full right and full left. We'd hold the tiller still in reality. Recall, blank the lower DU, and then we would read the before taxi checklist. There we go. Love the reflections in this sim. Absolutely mega. That cabin video was the old United safety video. Oh, okay. Excellent. Casper, install V11 airports or wait for V12. X11 or... I think that's what you're referring to, Casper. Now, I've tried to install a couple of payware airports for X11. Neither of them worked. So we're going to have to wait for the devs to sort of update them for the sim, I think. But yeah, it's a shame. Right, anyway. There's Edo. Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa. We're taxiing to runway 08 hold point Bravo. Perfect. So, parking brake released. Let's do the config check. There we are. No takeoff config warning. And again, the spool up time is a little better in the ZIBO mod than the PMDG. The PMDG is quite a... When you go from 0 to do the config check, the engine spool right up to 70-80% in reality. It takes about 6 seconds to get to 40. It takes a long time to spool up there. There's a little bit more flexibility in X-Plane with regards to modelling how responsive the thrust is there. It's pretty cool. SF34, is this a new ZIBO build that isn't available to the public yet? Yes, I believe so.
Suspect, then 17 kilo, coding flight level 370, flight level 120, for the insert 8 microflight, ILS 15.
See, illumination on the ground's good, but look, you can see, look, there's no lights on. So it is illuminating, but they just need to model the lighting here. The inertia on this is mega. It feels great. It feels like the aircraft really wants to keep rolling, which it should do. Super. And this is a default airport, guys. This is a default airport. I think that they're just they're really good. Really quite impressed with the quality of them. All the taxiway markings are correct. With this is the 4th, and then the same with Trondheim. Really quite impressive. Ah, they work if you've got the halogens. They're broken on the LED. Got it. Let's do a quick swap over then. Just saw them change quick out there briefly. Make sure we don't go there. But the reflections of the CSL models are there as well. It's great. Not on mine, then, not. Up. That helps if I turn the lights on. Okay, yeah, there they are. Could do it being a little bit brighter. Actually, not too bad. The taxi light, though, isn't. But look, I love these CSL models. All the flaps are extended. The quality of these is awesome. Actually, is he in a 300 or a 400? Or 6? I don't know. Is that a 600? Anti-brake, do you, or anti-crave, do you prefer LED lights or old lights with taxi lights on the nose wheel? The newer lights are much better in real life. They're much brighter, the LEDs. These can be a bit rubbish sometimes. Right, let's do the before takeoff checklist. Config, we checked. Flaps, we have 5 green lights. Stab trim 6 units. Set, takeoff briefing. Pax auto, bleeds on, V-speed set for departure, 39, 44 set on the MCP. The SID is the Petot 1 Sierra, climbing straight ahead 1700 feet, and a left turn direct to our first waypoint, which was what was it, the legs page? TN850. We're going to stop altitude at 4,000 feet, I'll hand fly for departure. And yeah, we're on Unicom, that's it. Reviewed, let's make sure the cabin's ready. I think if we flick this. Time to sit for departure.
Okay, the cabin.
The lighting of the runway is also really nice. There you go. Yes, he's a real life pilot, I think. Yeah, been fooling everyone for 5 years. You sort of see the lights reflecting on the aircraft as well. Yeah, I love these night lighting effects. They're awesome. And it's amazing how the CSL just works and they have all the reflections. Nose was a little flat though. Is Toga working on X-Plane 12? Yes. Right, let's see if anyone's on final. No, looks good and he's rolling. Alpaca 1-2 X-ray, Papa lining up runway 08. So imagine we're being cleared to line up. Retracts on, strobes on, LNAV, auto throttle, transponder, TRA. So MCP is set, transponder TARA, strobe lights are on, and we'll just give it a couple minutes, just let the aircraft get some spacing ahead. Yeah, lighting is great on the airport lighting, really nice. A little bit of lens flare on the... There you go, you can see my taxi light, that's definitely better. That, to be fair, is the same sort of brightness the taxi light has. Yeah, big plus one for me. It still has the sun though that's behind us reflecting on the instruments. It's always done that. Right, just give it a couple of minutes. Well, a minute from now. Has the weather radar been improved since your last stream? No, it hasn't. It just has sort of like a green. You can sort of see it here, look like green little bits here. Unfortunately, it does sort of depict weather though, which is quite good. Excellent. Should we go then? Toga's in chat. Start the timer. Release parking brake. Outback 1 2 X-ray. Papa's rolling 08. 40%. There we are, stabilised. Set takeoff thrust. There we are, takeoff thrust set, indications normal. Check, release forward pressure. I'm actually putting a little bit of forward pressure on here. See that nose just is bouncing a little bit in the mod at the moment.
D1.
Go. Rotate. He's improved the deadband now. That's much better. A little bit too much back pressure still required, but much better than it was. Gears up. Trim. $400. Down now. Fly by. Oh yes, that's majestic. $1,000. Okay. I've only got this assigned to the speed knob. There's 1,300 feet, so it's commanding the left turn. Oh, it takes a long time to get this to the up speed. Flaps 1. Yeah, so it needs to remodel the minimum manoeuvre speed, and the red tape's very high for flap 1. It's up at 170 knots. Shouldn't be that high. And flaps up. He's overshot the magenta line slightly, but that's quite normal. What is that gigantic building in Estonia? Look at that. Landing's generally quite nice. Pitch though, still needs a bit of work in pitch. Nicely trimmed out. 210 knots. So there's 1 to go. So we're going to go straight up to our cruise level. Flight level 380. Just need to push it out of the vent. VNAV, set standard, says 220 knots, remember for that initial turn. Passing 4 tree, flight level 380 is going to IMC. Do you have to take off checklist shortly? I'm just going to trim down. This is my favourite part of the work, is when you go into cloud and then you just break out of top at sunset or sunrise. It's absolutely spectacular every time, looks really cool. I don't know how thick this cloud is. We're all trimmed out there. There we go. Command A. Let's do the after takeoff checklist. So, gears off, water brakes off. It's 9 degrees up on the engine anti-ice. Air conditioning and pressurisation. Let's pop their E-trucks. And taxi light off. 2.2 is exactly where it should be. 500 feet per minute. And set. Release the cabin crew. Standard set, 6.8, flight level 380, after takeoff checklist complete, and we'll just do 220 knots on that initial turn. So yeah, the weather depiction's all broken at the moment. Trust your instruments, absolutely, Abbas. You do too now. So, thick IMC. There you go. Actually looks like IMC as well. Oh, wow. There we are, coming out on top. Not bad at all. Yeah, excellent. But then you have these little random scattered clouds, though. They're not so great looking. Alpaca in the mist. That's like our first ever movie. We're going to release 2 tons. That's great. Hey? I'm sure that is. Yeah, they're not bad. I mean, the clouds, when they're overcast, are fine. It's these clouds, which I don't really understand. They're just like a little texture blur. But sort of going into the sun there, that's actually quite realistic. With the sun low in the atmosphere, or low in the horizon, bleeding through the atmosphere, it is very bright. Basically, that's exactly what you see when you look out. So it's good. Anyway, passing 105.30, let's do the pre-cruise checks. Fuel for pumps. I'm going to pop those centre tank pumps on, because remember we've got about 370 kilos in the middle. Let's turn that down slightly. And anti-ice can come off as well. APU lights are off. APU's off. Pressurization 3.9. It's slowly climbing and set. Release passengers, recall. And we'd log into CPDLC. That's not unfortunately modeled in the mod. And there we are. Pre-cruise checks complete. On our way. So overall, yeah, you know, there's a lot of potential for this sim. They just the cloud textures they need to improve. They're really blurry. But I'm very happy with the performance of X-Plane 12. I've got my settings pretty all on the highest settings as well. Casper would like a wing view, certainly so.
Use other apps and websites you can purchase an internet access plan. We will be
Internet
serving
access
a variety
plan?
of complimentary drinks.
Didn't realise Alpaca Airways had such a service.
Beverages for purchase. In United Economy, a variety of snack boxes and refreshments are available to purchase, as well as freshly prepared meals from our bistro on-board menu. You can find more details about the menu in the back of Hemispheres magazine or the seatback guide. We accept both
Dennis, so
major debit and
is this
credit
the end of
cards,
Active Sky,
those
or are we
with
waiting
Visa,
to release on that? So
MasterCard,
Dennis, yeah,
Discover, or American
live
Express
weather
Visa,
implementation is
as well as the
much better
Highland
than it was in
Club
X-Plane 11. I mean,
Visa
substantially
card. We
better.
invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the service on
Live
today's
weather in
flight.
X-Plane 11,
Let us know if there's
default live
anything
weather
we
was
can do
crud.
to make your flight more comfortable.
It is substantially better, but they still have this variable wind issue. So the knots and the gusts of the wind isn't so bad, but when the METAR is saying the wind is, let's say, 220, variable between 180 and 270, the way it sort of does that variation is just like constantly swinging between the two. It's not really how it works, and the way the aircraft is responding to that isn't the most. It's not like if the wind was doing that in real life, the aircraft would behave the same way, but the wind doesn't do that. So they just need to, you know, lessen the variable wind. I mean, it does change, but not as quickly as it does in X-Plane. And that happened in X-Plane 11. Luigi is a windscreen heated in 737. Well, they're defrost fans. So the front 4 windows are heated. So L1, L2, R1, R2. But the windows here are not heated. You can feel it. You put your hand on there, they're ice cold in flight, and these you can feel they're very warm to the touch. Just the front 4 windows are heated. Is there a Scotch whiskey up for sale on the flight at Alpaca Airways? Yeah, we do all sorts of refreshments. These clouds look a bit interesting. These not so bad. Not so bad. Again, they just need to be a little bit more defined. Well, MSFS clouds have a lot of pixelation resolution problems at launch as well. I'm sure they'll sharpen them up. Yeah, I remember the clouds when Microsoft Flight Simulator launched them like marshmallows. Dano says, Drew Cruson, scroll up, Dave Cruson. Dave Cruson, hello Captain. I've heard you use the term deadband on takeoff. Could you explain what deadband is and the physics of what is going on? Yes. So, during the rotation, with the design of the 7.3, let me just turn the exterior sounds down so I don't definitely want to go outside. As the aircraft rotates, the airflow is going over the wing, and then down again, and then back towards the horizontal stabilizer. And that air is a little less laminar, it's a little more turbulent maybe, exactly how it is I don't know, but there's essentially a loss of lift at around 9-10 degrees over the horizontal stabilizer in the 737, the 800 specifically, and the 900, the shorter variants aren't as affected. The 700 is, I've flown the 700, definitely has a deadband, the 600 apparently I've never flown doesn't. Oh yeah, there's that weird little effect there. Just see it there. So basically what there is a loss of airflow over the horizontal stabilizer around 9 degrees, which means in the 737 there's like a two-stage rotation. Let me just put the yoke cam on here. When you initially rotate, you start rotating, that's just the autopilot disconnecting, so making an input. You hold it there, and when you get to about 9 degrees, if you left it there, the aircraft will just stay there at 9 degrees. So what you need to do is when you rotate, is you increase the back pressure, start the rotation, and then when you get to about 9-10 degrees, you just increase that back pressure, and you keep that continuous rotation from 0 to around 15 degrees onto the flight directors. It takes some practice when you start flying the 7.3. Those are the type rating, but you get quite proficient at it, and the mod it's modelled really nicely, and I think that's thanks to the physics in Explain, or I certainly know ZIBO's had to modify or maybe put a script in to allow it to do that, I'm not so sure. But the sensation of having to increase back pressure is well modelled, so that's essentially what it is. No problem, Dave. Rogue, what's your Explain settings? Pretty much everything maxed out. Clouds, that's the highest resolution clouds. Yeah, we'll definitely need to improve those. Excellent. Hi Frezzy. I skipper flew from Corfu to Manchester last night on a 738. Takeoff feels so much more aggressive than out of an Airbus, which feels much more smoother. Is that a characteristic of the 737? Well, if you just took off from Corfu, two things. I actually went to Corfu a few days ago. The runway is made out of pebbles. It's the roughest runway in Europe. It is so bad. So it feels very rough there. Secondly, do you know what runway you took off from, Fezzy? Because typically you land on 3-4. And you backtrack and take off on 3-4, but if it's really hot, and I can guarantee when you flew there, because I only flew there a few days ago myself, the jet stream at the moment is very south, it's moving southwesterly or southeasterly, so there's quite a strong headwind to go back to the UK. That means we're having to take additional fuel because the flight time's longer, and it's just a little bit tight for runway 3-4. If the guys are taking off for 3-4, it's very much full takeoff thrust. In fact, I was there the other day, and for 3-4, even with bleeds off, I couldn't take off. We didn't have sufficient thrust, so we actually took off on 1.6 with full 26k instead. But it always feels quite aggressive, the takeoff roll then, because we're using full power pretty much for every takeoff. It's a short runway, it's hot. You're quite performance limited there with obstacles on the departure as well. So yeah, 3-4 Fezzy. So I can put money on the fact they went full 26k for sure. Maybe bleeds off as well. It's very limiting 3-4 in Corfu. Very nice approach though, one of my favourite. So long as I have to land on 1.6, that's tricky. Luigi, have you flown to Skiathos? I haven't. Mark, talking of settings, absolutely. Q8 released his walkthrough now, as you predicted. Worth a look. There you go. Q8 Pilot makes really detailed videos of all the settings in simulators. I've always sort of used his videos for setting up Explain Microsoft Flight Simulator because he goes through all the settings and shows you the visual changes. So I actually didn't see he uploaded one for Explain, so I'd thoroughly recommend Q8 Pilot's video on that. Norbert, hi Captain, are you allowed to say where you're based at the moment? I can see Dorfman said Tokyo. That's something I wish to remain private. I changed my base last year, and just don't want people to know where I'm flying from. some obscure Japanese destination. Cockpit is so dark. It is AFO 310. It really is. Especially with the sun coming towards you. I heard someone tell me that they've modelled some sort of like the eye adjusting for the sun. So this is incredibly dark. Really. Night lighting though, when it's pitch black, the actual night lighting is very good in the mod. They just need to fix this here. Exactly. Yeah, it is a known issue, and I think Laminar said in their latest release notes that one of the things they're looking to fix is the cockpit lighting. It's incredibly dark. That's a very common question asked as well. Denmark 737 project. May I ask what airline you fly for? It might be blindingly obvious. Again, my operator knows what I'm doing as well. I wrote to them 5.5 years ago when I started my channel, and also to the head of training, and they said that's absolutely fine. And it was just actually a personal choice that I don't wish to discuss who I work for. Looks like you're flying in an oven. And when will you be landing, says Zandigo, because I need to set up a timer so I don't miss the landing in my home city. Oh, you're from Trondheim. Very cool. I think you might have said that earlier, haven't you? 17:31 Zulu. So, what's that? It is an hour and 5 minutes from now. Hi, Wojtek. 9 months as a member. Thanks, buddy. Ciao. So, which plugins still need porting to Explain 12? Not many. Oh, Headshake. Headshake I haven't installed yet, so it's a little static after I've landed. Is that compatible yet? Otherwise, I've got Avitab, B2 volume control, the landing rate calculator's in, Fly with Lure, X-Pilot, my SciTech panel, so my radio tuning panel works. Better pushback, yeah, as well. AFO 3310, out of everything going on with Explain 12, I'm super stoked that ZIBO was pretty much ready day one. Well, that's because ZIBO very fortunately got access to it early. He's been testing it for quite some time, so that's what made it available straight away. There's still a lot of work that needs doing, but it was pretty much usable from day one. Excellent, thanks Casper. Headshake is compatible, Explain 11 version works, and I'll simply copy that across. All the plugins I've moved are officially updated for Explain 12, apart from XPUIPC. All of them, the actual devs have updated their respective plugin. Yeah, I've heard Ortho works. Interesting. Now, I have Ortho on a second drive. I also have all of Orbex True Earth installed on a external drive, a hard drive. If I simply copy the shortcuts from my Explain Custom Scenery, which are links to my second drive with the Orbex Scenery, will that work in Explain 12? So instead of just having to download it all again. Is that the wall from Game of Thrones on your left? Yes. I just dropped my personal iPad. Dear. It's a good job I got a carpet. Yeah. Now I've noticed this. There seems to be this sort of substantial wall or drawing of clouds around the sim, which seems to be representative of some sort of horrific CB. I mean, if I was flying towards that, I'd be turning round. I wouldn't be going through it, that's for sure. And there's some sort of weird pattern drawn here. But yeah, that's a funny thing. Looks like Table Mountain. Brilliant. Yes, it will watch to Explain 72 streams. Oh, so literally just copy V11 Ortho and good to go. Wow, that's really cool. I'll have a play with that later. So if I literally my custom scenery folder, I have the links just to the Orbex scenery. I'll just wow, that's really cool. And someone told me like the winter effects work as well in Orbex. Brilliant. Winter is coming. That is horrific. Yeah, if I start flying towards that, ladies and gentlemen, we'd be not going through that. That is scary.
Crikey!
Just set up the links or copy the links. No need to use double HD space. That's awesome, Sim 737 pilot. I'll just copy the links across. AFO, does Explain 12 have dynamic seasons? I don't recall if that was going to be a feature. It does. It does. And when it starts snowing, it starts accumulating on the ground as well, which is pretty cool. Again, nowhere near what Microsoft Flight Simulator can produce, but still very nice to see in Explain. We'll try the Orbex thing. I really miss the UK scenery in X-Plane 12. Yeah, that's promising, isn't it? And if you've got it installed, then just copy them across. Or I have them all there, so I'll just basically move it there. Oh. Itch It and Scratch It. What was your name before? You've been a member for over 2 years. Love your channel name. That's a little bit interesting. Thanks for your continued support. I don't know if you've come back as a member, but welcome. It needs new water effects for the Explain 11 Ortho series. Ah, okay. Wojtek, can anyone confirm True F is okay? Apparently it is this, we were just saying in chat. Diogo, have you had the chance to fly the Max yet? I still haven't. So this is where the clouds go a little bit. I mean, they're okay. No, they're not, but hopefully they'll improve those. I mean, the lighting around sunset here is very, very good. Welcome aboard Nathan L4, thanks for subscribing. The X-Plane 11 Ortho does have some visual glitches, okay. Yeah, the sea water effects I've heard are good and exist. I've not tried any of the float planes, but I hope they're very good. Denmark, if you fix, fly from a warm place to a cold place, would there be a show at the cold place? Because next month you need to change the season to Sam. No, I think if you fly to a warm place to a cold place, it should be respective. You should see the respective change. We changed it last stream as a test to winter, and it looked cold. Everything went bluer, the sky looked cold, crisper, and you had all these white snow effects. It was great. Harry, I'm disappointed with the sim. Expected more. Don't forget, this is an early access version. It's been released early. It's been in development for some time. A lot of the changes are under the hood. Visually, there will be improvements coming. I would agree that it's looking nowhere near as good as Microsoft Flight Sim, especially that. But certain elements I really like. The default airports, the textures and the reflections of the airports, they are really good. Let's hope it's raining, because the rain effects are really, really quite good. That should be a heavy sun glare there. Yeah, I should think we should have a little bit more lens flare, shouldn't we? But there's no lens flare when you look there with your real eyes. Hi, Spliff Jam, hope you're doing well. White King, 90 months, hope you're doing well, buddy. Hi, Captain, good to be back again. First look at X-Plane 12, this looks more like Heaven Simulator 12, but hey ho, we'll hold off for now. Hope all is okay, yeah. You know, so last stream I recommended holding off for now, sticking with X-Plane 11. Now I've got a number of my plugins installed. You know, X-Pilot's working perfectly, all the CSL models are working perfectly, so everyone's appearing correctly. We just need a few more aircraft to come over. Some devs are charging, some are not. There's a lot of... I honestly don't know how much work is needed to be put into converting into this sim. I know ZIBO's had to do a lot of work. But I know some are doing free updates. I think FlyJSim have said the 7.2. Now, I really wanted to fly the MD-11 for rotate again, because that's been improved a lot, I think, since release. I don't think it's compatible with X-Plane 12 just yet. Once that is, I want to jump into that. I also have a yearning to fly the 727 as well. I haven't flown that tri-jet for a very long time. How's the NG handling 12? Not bad, Stephen Hayner. Pitch authority needs some work. And flaps with gear and drag need some fine tuning. Well, ZIBO told me that. I flew an approach earlier, and certainly with landing flapper gear out, the pitch power looked pretty good. Excellent. Get the Concorde ported, that would be cool. Actually, why not fly the A340 again? Yeah, I'd have got the Tolis A340. I think the A319, A320 should be working in X-Plane 12. Fox, we're talking about 737 Autolands. Yeah, that's a question. Fox, minimum use height is 158 for single channel, that's correct. You have to have dual channel for an autoland, that is also correct. AFO, is there a point on the approach where the second autopilot should be engaged with dual channel? It has to be engaged by 800 feet. info. Got it. So before glide slope lock, essentially. Well, yeah, as long as you do it by 800 feet, you can engage second order pilot. And my operator, as soon as we arm approach, we engage second order pilot. But you have until 800 feet to do it. What is better handling at the moment, PMDG and Microsoft Flight Simulator or ZIBO and X-Plane 12? Ooh, interesting question. I'd say the PMDG at the moment, because ZIBO needs to do a lot of work to make this working, X-Plane 12, is perhaps the better handling one. If I go here, disconnect the autopilot, if I go full back on the pitch, look, we should be doing 70 degrees nose up like a Cobra high-speed stall, look, a fully nose down, and it's just not changing, so the pitch authority is a little broken at the moment. Roll rate is pretty good, but pitch authority needs a heck of a lot of work. Now, if I was to do this, we go straight into a high-speed stall at this altitude, but yeah, it's not working at the moment. Comparatively, Microsoft Flight Simulator PMDG is very good. Like, candidly so. When I flew the 800 on the inaugural stream, we did the touch and go in the visual circuit. Very impressed. It's just when it comes to takeoff and landing, it's just a bit meh, and that's the bit where we're in these sort of airplanes. That's when we're hand flying them. It's on the takeoff and landing. It's just that rudder very jerky in nature. Whereas in X-Plane 12, that is really translating quite nicely. The landing physics, again, it's just that lack of pitch authority at the moment, just making the landings a little tougher. But it does need tweaking. Everyone feels a bit sick now. You would do if you were flying like that. Flying with Jonathan, the real 738, how long will it take to run the trim from neutral to either stop or between stops? What a question. Well, twice as fast with the flaps extended. I really don't know. As a time, I'd say with flaps extended, maybe 25 seconds and 50 seconds. Not, maybe less. I've never done it. That'd be a guess. The speed's all right all correct in the mod. We actually, years ago when I was in the Level D sim, I actually recorded the trim wheel speed, just based off the real aircraft, both with flaps extended. I did a slow motion video, and then we just see how long it took in 1 second, and then ZIBO just translated that into the mod, and also the correct speed. So if I disconnect it, if I trim here, that wheel is the correct speed, as is the rate at which it changes, with the flaps extended as well. It matches the real NG. Dark Go Fiction, X-Plane 12 has its own camera effect under Views Menu Cinema. Oh, you mean that thing? Oh yeah, that was an X-Plane 11. Yeah, that thing. It just adds a little bit of a shake. Oh, bye then. Just jumped out the cockpit. Later, why the clouds so blocky? Don't know, but they're being improved on, and they definitely need to be improved because they do look very circa early 2000s. Greg, since 6 months ago, when I switched to X-Plane 11, all I want to fly is a ZIBO mod. Interesting to see it in X-Plane 12. Thanks, Captain. It's here. A lot of improvement needed, but it's getting there. Yeah, I mean, does it feel like I'm at work? And I've just done 5 days on the trot, and yeah, feels just like that. Burger Pops by ZIBO loses speed constantly. I don't know what to do. I reinstall the game, I think. I don't think it could be an issue with the game there. Without really observing myself, it could be anything. But certainly, I've been experiencing no issues like that. Leighton, I have to say, I think Microsoft has no competition now. They've wiped X-Plane off the radar. This comes from an X-Plane 11 fan. I disagree with that statement, Leighton. I think Microsoft Flight Simulator has a much larger audience. I mean, I wonder what it is in comparison. Probably 100 times more people use it than X-Plane. But you've got two different markets here. You know, Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's on Xbox. You know, every boy, girl, and his nan can download that and play with their Xbox controller
50,
and fly in the aeroplane.
30, 20,
whereas X-Plane,
10.
I think its core is a much better sim. Tim, oh my goodness, hello.
Hi, I hope you're well. Not been in a stream for a long time
No.
due to work commitments and home life. XP12 is looking very good. How is it on FPS?
Well, Tim Fraser, one of the old members of the channel. I hope you're doing well, buddy. It's been a very long time since I've heard from you. Doing absolutely fine. I hope everything is well work and home life wise. X-Plane 12 is looking good. It could do with a lot of improving in the kind of clouds, textures, quality. But certainly the case of the ZIBO mod, it's been ported over very well. I mean, ZIBO's been working on that months and months ago. He was granted early access. So there's certain elements of the sim visually, the majority of it needs a lot of work, and the cockpit lighting is a priority, I think. It's so dark in here. But you'll see on landing, the airports are a revelation, really. I think they're much better than the default airports in Microsoft Flight Sim. I think there are some decent airports, default airports in Microsoft Flight Sim, but you've got some great community-made ones, and also what was the one we flew last? The Indie Builds one I really liked as well. But yeah, it's two great sims. We're both lucky here. And as I mentioned in my community post to you guys, it doesn't really matter what I say or what someone else says on the internet. You've got to enjoy the experience. That's what's important. And I love flying an X-Plane. I think it represents flying the 737 at work, especially from a handling perspective. And that is what the majority of you are here to see. You want to see me fly the 737. Yes, we have a lot of fun flying other airplanes. Well, you guys have a lot of fun watching me fly other airplanes. And I'm very fortunate to enjoy both simulators. I value them for both the amount of work that the devs have done. And I will continue to stream both that one as well. Now, another thing as well, I've never used Prepared, and someone made a valid point. There's still a lot of P3D users out there. And there's still some amazing aircraft available for P3D. You've got all the PMDG heavy jets. You've got that Majestic, is it Dash 8, I think? So yeah, there's definitely something, a value for all the simulators still out there. Now notice some altitude deviations. I think this is something to do with the weather being updated in the background. So look, see how we're climbing, but the altitude's decreasing? This is a pressure change in the sim. So the mod is doing its best to maintain altitude, but because the pressure's changing in the sim, look, the autopilot's struggling to maintain the altitude. So you can see that, you can definitely tell the pressure was changing because we were climbing, yet the altimeter showed that we were descending. Oh yeah, we're above one of those monster CBs by the look of it. I think it's time for a flyby, which I like in this sim. Yeah, those clouds though, I would use the word naff. Anyway, how far until top of climb? 195 miles? A fascinating pressure effect, that looks quite strong. Yeah, maybe they were just updating it as on the fly there. Leighton, are you a real pilot? Yes, I am, sir. I think I've got a command for that. Cotton ball clouds. Yeah, that change in pressure was not accurate. If you're a royal pilot, do a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll.
Excellent, guys. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to nip to the toilet. I'll be back in about 3 or 4 minutes, and then when I get back, we can start setting up for the approach into Trondheim. Let me just check VATSIM to make sure we're not going to log into any centres in my brief intermission. No, there's no need to see at the moment. So I'll be back in about 3 or 4 minutes. Oh yes, we're back in X-Plane. I can get my stapler out. Yeah, I can give my stapler cam or sellotape reel cam. Hold on. You guys have always wondered how I do this. Here you go. There's my sellotape cam. I pop that on the arrow so you can enjoy the rotational view whilst I just go off. I'll be back in about 4 or 5 minutes, guys. Thanks for that, guys. Oh my god. There's green lines here, the weather radar. It's so dark in here. It's so dark. Cannot wait until they fix that. They fix that and the clouds. They're halfway there. Somewhere there's an airline safety briefing playing. Never listening to that. It's a fact. Hello, Enrim. Hope you're doing well. MC Crewfish, and he tips to the clouds by heart, studying rides now. By the way, the Mammatus clouds right now. Mammatus, yeah, well, oh god, they're the, I've heard of those ones. I mean, you don't, did I have to learn all the cloud names? God, don't know them all. No, your Cirrus, your Cumulus, your CBs, all you got to remember is the clouds you don't want to fly through is cumulonimbus clouds, CBs, which is, oh, someone should turn a switch on, the lights turn on automatically. That was interesting. So yeah, there may be some sort of rule of thumb or rhyme to remember it. I'm sure there would be. I don't know any. Oh, you're feeling a bit sick at the moment, resting. I'm sorry to hear that. Hope you feel better soon, buddy. Right then, so I think now's a good time to set up for this. Oops. I've somehow accidentally reset my views. There we go. I think now is a good time to set up for the approach into Trondheim. The code for that is... Actually, I don't know what the code is for this airport. Echo November Victor Alpha. There we are. That is there. Next. So, looking at the weather there right now, we can expect runway 2108, so we can expect straight in runway 27. It is raining, scattered at 3,000. Wind at 670 feet is 280 at 6 knots. So it's forecast to be rain, misty and murky, but nothing low visibility wise. So, let's go to arrivals. We're expecting a VEVOD 1 mic to ILS 27. And we'll grab the airport charts and the parking stand as well. So, jump to the FMC. Oh, I don't have the home button, that is a pain. So, VNAV. Forecast 250 below 100, and the winds we can punch in. There's our descent winds. So the drag model does need a little bit of fine tuning. I think it is better. PMDG is still far too slippy for me. The mod is, I think it's a little bit. There's a bit of additional drag that's come in with X-Plane 12, which needs to be fine-tuned, but it's not too far off what it was in X-Plane 11. In X-Plane 11, it was very, very good. So you might find when we're doing a VNAV idle park descent speed might bleed off a little bit. So that's in QNH in Trondheim is 909 and 2, below pressure there then. Executes. Preset 909 and 2 here. So yeah, I think this was an issue with X-Plane 11 with the pressure changes and how it changes up your height. You can see, look, it's saying 21 and 11 because we just a little bit. Oh, look at that! See, look, the pressure's constantly changing. So I think X-Plane, we might be relying on X-Sky, I don't know, but X-Plane needs to smooth out the pressure changes. So they're in. Fixed wings runway 27. 10 is where we're going to configure no later for flap 1. Oh, what's going on with the lighting? Still very broken. Nothing at all. Look now, look, it's like it's like it's completely stopped working. Look, main panel lights don't do anything. Yeah, chain that controls all your lighting here. It's a shame. Oh, you're gonna have to squint here to see the FMS. Now I think it's something to do with the fact that we're flying towards the sun. When you have the sun behind you, it is a lot brighter in here. So 10 miles, we are VMC just, so we can plan to configure 4 miles. We're at 38,000 feet, so 38 times 3, 114. That's roughly where top of descent should be. Yeah, that's not too far off there. Time to get out the candles. I thought about changing the bulb. Maybe open flight deck door and have the cabin bright. I don't know if that'll make any difference. No. See how quickly I turn my head as well. No, doesn't make any difference. Oh, there we are. It's back again. Yay! Let's have a look at this arrival then. So FedOdd 1 Mike. So routing's a bit unusual. We're coming in from the east. If I go here, so we're sort of coming from the VEDOD from the southeast there, and then as soon as we get to VEDOD we make a turn north towards the airport. VEDOD restrictions then, we've got 100 or above, which checks in the FMC. A clearance direct star merge point will normally be issued. The vertical profile should be planned by reducing the normal star length by 16 miles. Descent should be planned by using the average track miles from the star, pointing to threshold as indicated below. So that's pretty cool. Give you some additional guidance with shortcuts you could possibly get on these point mileage arrivals. So VEVOD 100 above, then we've got Rodger, then Victor Alpha 714, then Adexa. Adexa's 220 knots on 7,000 feet or above. We could potentially get a shortcut to Exilda. Exilda's 6,000 feet or above. We just need to be very careful of high terrain here. I did the test sector and went direct to a 10-mile final, and I didn't realise the high terrain in the MSA, so we got very close to the ground in IMC. So be always aware of your MSA. But what I'm going to do is put Adexa at 7,000. If I delete that, right now VNAV's putting us at 12,000 feet. If I do Adexa direct to Zilda, we're going to be a lot lower. So what was that, 12,000, 126. If I do Adexa direct to Zilda, oops, so basically what I'm doing, I'm taking that shortcut there. Look, I'm planning a straight line, which we should do if it's quieter. You can see now 12,600 becomes 8.7. So what I'm going to do is put 8.7 as a hard altitude. We're complying with the restriction because we're above it. I'm going to put 8,700, and that will be a nice position for a direct Zilda for a straight in. If not, we'll just do a very gradual descent to 6,000 feet in vertical speed if we have to do the point merge. And the idea is, as soon as they're ready to sequence us, they'll just route us direct to Zilda, or maybe even Timbuktu, which is on the extended sense line. So that's the whole idea. Instead of holding, I'll just keep you on the point merge until they can sequence you into the approach. Once we do get cleared direct, it will be either to Exilda or Tikmu. We can then descend to 4,700. That checks in the FMC, that's minimum altitude. Very important to be aware of the MSA then, as mentioned. So to the southeast where we're coming in from, look at that, 5,800. So you've got to stay on your planned route track. If you verge off that, make sure you get above the MSA unless you're under radar control. So from Zilda direct to Tikmu 4,700, and then we're onto the ILS. We go past the centre fix and then to Nevos, which I believe is the final approach fix. There it is, Nevos, final approach fix, 4,000 feet, checks in the FMC. So let's have a look at the top of the chart here. 109.9 is the ILS. We can make that active. Oh, it's already there. 266 for the courses, if you can read them. 266, 266. Tidfu, said John. Did I say something wrong? Tidfu? Oh, is that the place we held at? I can't remember. Frequencies, courses, and minimums. Can't see. Oh, it's worth looking at this. Look, 3.4 degree ILS here. So always make sure you check the glide path angle matches the FMC. This is unfortunately a feature missing in the PMDG. The descent angles are not very accurately modelled, I don't think. They're just a standard descent path. I might be wrong on that, but I'd never seen a descent angle in the FMS in the PMDG. So this has got 3.4, so this will actually give you the correct glide path, the correct height checks. I mean, out of curiosity, it'd be, if anyone's in the PMDG 7.3, leave it in the comments section below, let me know what the heights are, because it could be that they have modelled it, they just haven't got the correct guidance in the legs page. Anyway, 3.4 degrees checks, down to minimums, 303, which we can set here. Slow it down a bit quicker. 303 is set. 3.4 degrees, so quite steep. So, what do you think? Some of the guys here, what's as a airline pilot, what would 3.4 degrees potentially be an issue for? You know, what would that be saying in the briefing if I was briefing this to a co-pilot? 3.4 degree descent angle. The standard descent angle is 3 degrees. It's only 0.4 more, but actually that can potentially be an issue. Why? Why is that such an issue? Sorry, yeah, minimum is 303, not 304. Absolutely listed in. That is it. High energy, earlier configuration. Speed is another issue, Rye, as well. Very good. The 7.3 is very slippy. So on 3.4 degrees, if you're at flat 5, it'll struggle to maintain the speed with idle thrust. So you'll be flat 5, idle thrust, and it'll probably accelerate. So you really might want to consider flap 10. Forget, if you've got flap 1 out, forget it. Your speed's going to accelerate. So energy management, speed management, spot on, guys. Really nice. So 3.4 degrees. And if you add a tailwind into that factor, you're going to struggle to contain the energy of the aeroplane. The 737 is so slippy. And with flat 5, idle thrust on a standard 3 degree ILS, sometimes it'll just hold the speed. So anything that's steeper than that, you can expect the speed to run away. So it's likely we'll have to go flap 10. Again, the mod flap gear drag model in X-Plane 12 needs fine-tuning. It's a little bit too draggy, or ZIBO seems to think it is. I think it looks or feel pretty good, to be honest, but we'll see what happens today. Half Moon, what about the lower end 1 on final? Wouldn't it be an influence on the go-around? That's a great question, but there's another factor which would stop that from happening. So the 737 has different idle speeds. So when you're on the approach, we have an approach N1 idle, so on the ground it's 20%. On the approach phase, it's around, you know, I actually don't know what it is off the top of my head. I've sat in the plane for 11 years, but it's around 40-45%. So in the event of a go-around, the engines don't have that long to spool up at all. But that's a great question. But there's a higher approach. The idle's a lot higher on the approach phase to ensure that you have sufficient thrust recovery in the event of a missed approach. Because if it was 20%, you'd be in serious trouble if you had to do an immediate go-around. Serious trouble. So yeah, well done, guys. Very impressed. Pappy's left and right, high intensity approach lines. The missed approach is nice and simple. Climb on 266 to 4,000 feet, and we'll make a right turn to the NDB, which is Varennes, and we'll go to 4,700 feet. So it's just climbing straight out of 4,000, then 4,700. So the actual missed approach altitude is 4,700 feet. We'll just tune up the NDB 385. Spot on. Oh, I need night vision goggles. It's so dark. There we go. Excellent. I think we've covered everything there. Let me just get the landing performance done, guys, and I'll answer any questions. So, landing performance. We're landing with 4.5. We need 3 tons to divert, so the fuel burn looks pretty good, as expected. As it was in X-Plane 11. So it's 900 kilos of fuel to burn until touchdown, so our landing weight's going to be 60.2. It's actually a nice little gross error check you could, I'll show you to check the estimated landing weight. Otherwise, oh, everything's going on here. ATC 1855. This is the first ever time I've spoken to anyone on VATSIM. Had a response. Oh, making the frequency active turns the lights on. Centre, hello, it's Alpaca 12 X-Ray Papa, maintaining flight level 380 inbound to Oscock.
Alpaca 12 X-Ray Papa, Polaris hello, squawk 2161.
2161, Alpaca 12 X-Ray Papa. 2161.
Stars Control over, good evening. Alpaca 1, Alpha November, maintaining flight level 370 direct Oscock. Alpaca 1, Alpha November, Polaris hello, squawk 6244.
Service wind 2109.
Squawk 6244, Alpaca 1, Alpha November.
Temperature is 14 degrees. Temperature is sorry, QNH 992. 60.2.
Alpaca 1 to X-Ray Papa, cleared VAVOD 1 Mike arrived.
Cleared VAVOD 1 Mike, Alpaca 1 to X-Ray Papa. That's the one we briefed. So reverse, let's go flat 30. I think it'll be wet as well because it's been raining, so we'll use reverse credit. There we are, so flat 30 order break 3 is 2,000 metres, which is what I'd expect it to be. We've got 2,900, we'll plan to vacate Alpha 4, which I reckon is about 2,000 metres. So we're going to go flat 30, order break 3, second D10 reverse, vacate Alpha 4, then taxi Yankee on stand. Nice and simple. There we go, all done. We then read the descent checklist before it's done. Right, let's have a look at chat here. Early slow down, great, really impressed with the knowledge in chat. James, I had an engine failure on cruise. Can you explain the difference between bleed start and windmill start? I wasn't able to get the engine started. So the bleed start is using the aircraft's bleed system to restart the engine, which is what we do below 230 odd knots or something. There's a table in the QRH with the engine in flight restart. A windmill start, you accelerate to a much higher speed and use the airflow to spin the fan up, and then you essentially just add fuel into the engine. Far more common to do the cross restart. It very much depends on what point the engine failed. But if it doesn't restart, it sounds like you've had some sort of severe damage or serious issue with the engine.
2142, Nordic 4 Whiskey Bravo.
Great question.
Scandinavia 617, descent 4,600 feet.
Would take a percent of the climb in the PMDG 738. Will it display the glide slope angle now? Yeah, it should do. Should be in the FMS, but I've not seen any glide slope angles in the PMDG 737. Daniel, are you looking to cross the pond? I have it in my diary, and I am off, but I start very early the next day, so it depends what slot I get. It's been a while since I've done any big event like that. Yeah, weather radar is... I mean, I might as well turn it off, guys. It's like the one in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Makes the magenta light disappear as well. I'll just turn it off. It's not... Bib. When ready to send flight level 120 to be level, then on. So Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa. Oh, to be level at Vevod, Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa 120 when ready. So he wants us a 120 exactly. So what I'll do, 120 here, which is above 100. So that's executed. That's brought top of descent a little closer. And top of descent is coming up. 4 miles. Top of descent in chat, ladies and gentlemen. We're descending into Trondheim imminently.
118.6 with the speed, Amber 167, thank you. Back 9 Alpha Kilo, report the fine speed to awareness approach, 118.6. Report the speed to 118.6, Alpha down Alpha Kilo, thanks very much, bye.
So it's got speed control there. There's VNAV. Oops, it's missed it. So that's a bug here. Look at this, it's lost VNAV. It should transition really smoothly from the cruise to descent and stay on profile the entire time. Instead, it's got to VNAV speed. So this has common VNAV, which is the latest updated VNAV software in the 737. So no longer will the 737 dive for this. It'll just fly the bug speed, which is 7.8. And when it goes back on profile, VNAV speed will transition to VNAV path once it's back on profile. Just picking up the NDB there. So if I use a little bit of speed brake here, as soon as it goes on to profile, watch the VNAV speed. There we go, back to path, slow the speed brake. A little bit of noise on that. And back to retarding arm. Taylor is braking on left 280 degrees, up back on 12 X-ray Papa. So heading select. Is braking on wet runways better than X-Plane 11? Yeah, I think much improved. They actually have different braking actions as well. They have a lot more different braking runway condition states. They only had before wet, icy and dry. They now have about 12. But there's definitely a notable difference, and also the nose wheel effectiveness on a wet taxiway and runway is reduced. You set 12,100. Just testing you. Well done, Robin K. You spotted what I did on purpose. Oh no! That was the wrong one. Oh dear. Okay, it was next to the applause one, okay?
Back on to exit Papa, conversion speed 270.
On conversion 270 knots, I'll back on to X-ray Papa. So when he means, or says, on conversion, we maintain a Mach number initially in descent, but that increases our indicated airspeed. But it means once you reach that speed of 270 knots, we'd like you to maintain that speed. There's 270, that's left us very high on profile, because that's actually quite a significant jump. I wasn't expecting as much as that. Maybe I'd say 800, 900 feet high, but not 2,000. So we're going to go speed brake 270 now. The lights keep going off and on in this sim. Because that profile has us at 120 VEVOD, so we need to capture it. And these rates of descent at 270 knots, again, as a little quick to get to that speed. 5,000, yeah, actually, you know what, because it's accelerating. It's not too far off, but 4,500, 5,000 feet, 270, and accelerating, you'll get those rates of descent in the real aircraft. Real streamer. Yep, nice one. Is LNAV on? No, it's not, Danigo, because we've just been given a radar heading. Yeah, it's the lights keep flicking, which is not ideal. Bank angle 25 degrees. It's so dark. Yeah, the drag's completely up. Actually, is really far off here. It's too draggy at the moment. PMDG, not draggy enough. ZIBO, too draggy. We're getting 3,500 feet, 270 knots of speed brake. It should be about 2.5, 2.6, but ZIBO told me that it's too draggy, so bear in mind this is all known. It's going to be fixed there, but the speed brake at the moment is too effective. Too effective. I mean, I like it, the fact it's effective. I wish it was effective this is the real plane, but it's not as effective as that. Hi Sharkets, just received a message, finally landed my airline job and I'll start my time rating on the 320. Thank you so much for your tips which brought me there. Wow! Very exciting Sharkets, congratulations. I'm sure everyone in chat will mirror me in saying well done. Green, did you turn off the terrain collision assistance system? Well, it's sensor avoidance and it is on. You can disable it here. Right heading 300 degrees, I'm back on to X-ray Papa. But it is on. Or do you mean the terrain display? I don't know if that's working yet. Trying this stream, I don't want to crash. Into the soup, yeah, now this looks good. This looks very good when you get close to these blurry clouds. Put the engine anti-ice on. That is excellent. And there's real depth to these clouds as well, so when you're in them, you're in them. There's no sort of going through 2D images, you are in cloud. Right, we've got... Why is it not taking VNAV? Another bug. Yeah, it's not taking VNAV at all. Should do. Just give it direct VEVOD, see if that works. No. It's broken. Retard MCP speed. What is happening? Yeah. So you can see, look, there's big problem still. Not taking VNAV at all. So we'll just have to go to sort of conventional vertical speed and level change. I've actually had VNAV stop working in the real aircraft before. And what I'm just going to use vertical speed to sort of stay on the profile. VNAV in op. Blosby, last question, is there a Discord or anything else where the controllers say where they're going online? Because everything I get a flight on way to be, the AC goes away. Well, then, that's unfortunate, but I mean, they have to go. But type in VATSIM events, Blosby, VATSIM events, you'll get guaranteed ATC then. But I don't think there's any official VATSIM booking screen. If you type in VATSIM ATC bookings, there is some... there are some tables showing where ATC are bookings. I don't know where that system comes from, and it is reasonably accurate. Direct to VEVOD and speed 260 knots. Alpaca 1 to X-ray Papa. That's executed. LNAV 260.
Delta 1 to right, Blue Seller, climb flight number 310, direct Barlack.
There is a lot of potential here, 031. A huge amount of potential. I think the foundations here are great. Just love the default I love the camera a lot more. Now this is good. Once you're in the cloud, boom. This is good. And this, so this illumination is what it should be in the cloud. Even then, it's still a little bit too dark. But if it went to cloud and did this, what on earth was that? Was that talking? Don't know. Be honest, Captain. Did you cheap out and let Dodgy Dave work on the aircraft again? Unbelievable. But that's great. Like the sun on the cloud here. Great, great, great. Just I am having to squint a little bit to see the instruments. Goodness knows what it looks like for you guys watching the stream. I'll pop seatbelt signs on. Are you registering any turbines while in cloud? No, unfortunately not, Keith Watt. I don't think there's any sim which really does a good job sort of simulating turbines. Now if it's sort of stratus like cloud like this, there isn't any turbines. It's only really with cumulus type clouds. Now that's good. In cloud that's fine. But look, the problem is I've got all my lights turned up fully. There's no illumination. You can see the bar changing, but it's not illuminating. If it is, it's very faint. ZIBO said this is an X-plane, and they need to sort that out. Anyway, there we are, and looking in, and look, we've got precipitation as well. I think that's great. It's quite hard to see it though.
Speed 250 knots, Alpaca 1 Alpha November.
Sorry, what's that? Just confirm Alpaca 1-2 X-ray Papa 250 knots.
Alpaca 1-2 X-ray Papa, speed 250 knots.
Reducing 250 knots, Alpaca 1-2 X-ray Papa. Let's try VNav again. Oh, it's gone. It's gone in. VNav path. Just need to tell it to do 250 now. There we are. A little bit high on profile, so we're going to go VNav speed, so it will bug for 250. Get that extremely effective speed brake out.
Just
wait for VNav path to come back in. A lot of trimming going on with the speed brake coming out. It's like it's affecting the attitude quite a lot. Do many add-ons work with X-Plane 12 more and more every day, Carlos. All my favourite plugins are working. Now our VNav path, slowly stow the speed brake. But it's just, I can't see anything. I can't see the standby instruments, I can't see the buttons on the FMC. I can't. Approaching Vedod. Trust your instruments. Oh, they have a new command only for torch. But yeah, it's like a red line, but even that's not very bright. So look at this, idle path now, it's actually holding 250 really nicely, 1500 feet per minute, not far off the rate of descent at that speed, maybe a little too shallow, but we've got idle thrust here, and it's holding 250 nicely. 021 sure, never mind, yeah, I saw the original comment. Are they getting us in? Dome light is on, I think. Yeah. If I turn it off, it's even with it off, it's it's unusable. The lighting is completely kaput. That's with dome light off. I can't read it. 118.6 with the speed. Alpaca 1-2 X-ray Papa. Goodbye. This is approach, isn't it? Trondheim approach. Very good evening, Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa. Sending flight level 120 level VED speed 250 knots.
Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa, VED approach low. Expect LS27, descent 7,000 feet, QNH 992.
Expect ILS27, send 7,000 feet, QNH 992. Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa. 7,000 feet is set, QNH 992 is set. We're going to why are we climbing? Oh no, to be fair, that's no, I'm not sure what's going on here. VNAV speed. Yeah, that shouldn't. The aircraft should not have done that. That is broken. HC is going to be going. What's going on? Why did that want to jump up like that? Anyway, vertical speed. Whee! So that is a bug. A few little VNAV issues here. I mean, generally the profile is up to date. I'm not sure what happened there, why it climbed. I mean, it was setting the QNH and it just shot up. You know, in VNAV it should be on profile. So, but everything's on full, lighting's on maximum, guys. It's just shockingly bad. The lighting. That's on, everything's on maximum brightness, and if I turn the dome light off, it's unusable. Well, there's no difference. That would make a huge difference. Anyway, out the cloud, look. Chantilly's coming off. We're just doing vertical speeds, yeah, 750 feet per minute. So we get some nice rain ski effects, but I haven't had them for a while. You basically eat more carrots, right? Explain 12.
Number 81, confirm 6,000 feet,
Lantern-based 737 Classic.
Now,
outrageous.
number 1.
Yeah, Jim's just got to stoke the fire. Talking about stoking the fire, would you guys like me to reignite my second YouTube channel? Most of you probably don't know I have a second YouTube channel called Airline Pilot Plays. And talking about stoking the fire, I want to go and train SimWorld and drive the steam train. I purchased it ages ago, I've not even tried it. And I think it'll be a heck of a laugh because I love the train sim streams. Might do that in a couple of, just for a bit of fun, something a bit different. So yeah, if you type in Airline Pilot Plays, go check out my second channel, have a bit of fun, chill out, because I've actually got, I've been so busy, and I've actually got a couple of days just to myself, just to you know, do what I want to do, and I want to play some fun games with you guys. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing that in a couple of days, maybe even tomorrow. Anyway, post-cruise checks coming up, fuel. I can see it just about, 4 pumps, lights, oh that is bad. Logo, AP pressurization, 3.9 set, seatbelt recoil, checks complete, that is very bad, the lighting. Anyway, there's our profile, go back to VNAV. And remember, we're going to go via a deck zone, we're going to keep going around until we clear direct. Now remember that restriction we put in, 8.7, to allow for that straight in. See what happens. Looks like we're going to do some of the point version. This is what I've been doing in real life. Look at other traffic, see what they're doing. So it looks like we're not going to get straight in. So let's just do vertical speeds and a very gentle descent, 400 feet per minute. 220 is the speed on the arrival.
Roger, descend 7,000 feet, QNH 999.
There we are, so VNAV's now going to show us very low, but that is as expected. This is another thing that the mod has over the PNDG. It does what you say it should do. It can hold altitude as well. So look, I've set 400 feet per minute. It'll do 400 feet per minute. There'll be a slight adjustment as it turns. That's what the real aircraft does, but it's already pitching up to adjust for that and retrain. So it does do the commanded vertical speeds and can maintain altitude as well, which the PNDG regrettably, and the approach phase, especially when configured, does struggle to maintain altitude, as it did with their Microsoft FSX version as well, and the prepared version. Yeah, it's too dark though. In this sim.
12 X-ray Papa, speed 220 knots.
Just reducing 220 knots now, back on 12 X-ray Papa. So there we are on the RNAV point merge. We'll stay on this one until we've been cleared. See how the aircraft's cleared direct to Zilda? This is exactly how it works in real life. Once they've got the sequence all sorted, they'll just route direct to Zilda. This is very common now.
Nordic 498, contact Polaris 118.550.
John Cole of NM1 Mike done this approach many times. Really cool. Never been to Trondheim. I've been to Gardermoen, but not Trondheim. Oh dear, an alpaca's gonna John, 20 bumps on your next check ride just showed this the stream. Anyone could operate the aircraft blindfold should pass immediately. Brilliant, John. Thank you very much for your continued support as well. Yeah, agree, I can actually see the instruments fine. To give you a headache over time, just squinting. 8 degrees.
4 Whiskey Bravo descent via Exilda transition cleared ILS runway 27. Cleared via Exilda transition cleared ILS 27. Nordic 4 Whiskey Bravo. Number 8 will contact her 119 Decimal 4. 119 Decimal 4 for the tower runway 1.
I do want something to say, I'm afraid, guys. Dominic, yeah, that's a commonly asked question. And thanks for your respect and appreciation for me not answering. I'm based in Nagasaki. Oh, looks like we're doing quite a lot of this arrival.
Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa, cleared like Exilda.
Direct Exilda, Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa. So execute LNAV, and we're slowly coming back onto profile. Very nice.
Nordic 4 Whiskey Bravo, speed 180 until 60 meters.
Not sure why it's showing me on profile though. I noticed this last time that we're 30 miles. Should be at about 9,000 feet to be on profile. We're at 7.5, but it's showing on profile. This is inaccurate. Not trusting this at the moment.
9.5 kilo, 10 left heading 090.
Well, 25 miles in a straight line maybe, but with 30 miles, not so sure. Let's try it, see what it does for you now. Not 250 though. Oops, fuel disconnected. So we've not been cleared to descend any lower than 7,000, so that's our clearance altitude, which I did just temporarily forget, which is why I went back to VNAV. So we'll just maintain this altitude until we cleared lower. Oh no, landing clearance out there. It does look soupy out there. It looks good though. In the cloud it looks great. Try the flashlight, have done, James. I need some more batteries. So yeah, profile, not so... we're low on profile, they're saying we're high. VNAV needs a bit of tweaking here.
Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa, descend via Exilda transition, cleared ILS 27, speed 180 until 60 meters.
Reduced speed 180 and cleared to descend as per the procedure. Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa. So go down to 6,000. He wants 180 knots, so we'll start reducing to the up speed. We're going to go vertical speeds. Go flap 1. Over flap 1 speed. So remember this ILS is a little steeper, just got to bear that in mind. Just keep that descent going as well. Let's check. So remember the procedure, I can't go below 6,000 until passing Zilda, and I can set 4,700. So important that you respect these guys, otherwise you're going to hit a mountain. So we wait until 1 mile before we can set the lower altitude.
Alpaca 9.5 kilo, climb 6,000 feet.
So there's 1 mile, 4,700 feet set. And we're at IMC, there's, look at this, there's the mountains here, 3,600 feet below us.
Alpaca 1 Alpha November, clear direct Exilda.
Flat 5. Slow down here. So go flat 5. So I'd say the drag model with flaps is pretty good. Feels pretty good.
494, Nordic 4 Whiskey Bravo.
There you go. That's why you respect your minimum altitudes.
Alpaca 1 Alpha November, descent 6,000 feet.
So 180 till 60
Descend
knots.
altitude 6,000 feet. Alpaca 1 Alpha November.
So I'm just using vertical speed, VS to finesse, we call it my operator, just to go onto the ILS. What I did when I was training. Because that's what I was taught during line training. So basically I'm just using vertical speed to sort of stay on the lines there.
Kilo report speed.
Currently maintaining 230 knots, what would you like? Alpaca 9 Kilo.
And after tick moo, we can descend to 4,000 feet if we're not established already.
230 knots, Alpaca 9 Kilo.
Proper IMC high terrain this is. This is why you must respect your minimum altitudes.
Number 81, turn left heading 140.
They're actually saying English weather, but it's Trondheim weather. I know, it's horrific. Cleared approach. Arming Vorlock initially. Localizer capture, runway heading 266 set. It's done a good job. There's just been bugs with VNav and a few little tweaks here. I'll feed this back to ZIBO. So VNav again is showing us slightly high. We can go down to 4,000 feet now. We'll just do a nice gentle descent to 450. So actually, let's get established on this ILS because I want to demonstrate this 3.4 degree ILS. See what happens with flat 5. See if it holds the speed. Again, the drag model is a little bit tweaking here. So I've just done basically a very shallow descent. Alarm approach. Glideslope capture. Missed approach altitude 4,000. 4,700 descent. 1194 Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa. Bye. So I'm just going to go to idle quickly. And there's approach idle. We know we're talking about approach idle. There we go. Look, see how it doesn't go any lower than 39%. And flat 5, if I bring the speed back, look at how it's only just about holding that speed. I'd say there's a little bit too much drag maybe with flat 5 at the moment. I'd probably be going flat 10 in reality. Trondheim Tower, hello, it's Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa, established ILS 27 and 180 knots till 6.
Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa, final tower, hello, continue approach, number 2.
Continue approach, Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa. So yeah, 1,000 feet per minute, that's the descent rate typically for 3.4 degree ILS at this sort of speed, and traffic's 5 miles ahead, keep an eye on that. I think there's the sun trying to bleed through the clouds there, but it is so dark in here. That looks good though. It's definitely a misty, murky day in Trondheim. Light rain still. 9,000 metres scattered at 500. So probably only going to see the ground about 500 feet.
Nordic 2 Papa Charlie evacuated.
Very well done by AC as usual. That looks mega, that looks really nice. Just shows a bit brighter in here. So when it gets dark at night time, I'll quickly switch to night later. The cockpit lighting's actually fine, it's just that looks wicked. That's very, very, very nice.
EC301 Bravo negative, hold position for now.
Arm speed brake.
Holding position, EZ301
A
Bravo.
bit of noise in my speed brake now. Right, approaching 6 miles, so bring it to flat 5 speed. Yeah, a little bit too much drag here with flat 5.
Line up and wait, runway 27, EZ301 Bravo.
Nordic 4 Whiskey Bravo, it will be impossible for us.
Yeah, that was a bit early.
Nordic 4 Whiskey Bravo, I'm aware, go around, I say again, go around.
Oops, yeah, I was going to say, he lined him up and he's only 500 feet above the ground.
Go around, Nordic 4 Whiskey Bravo.
Right, gear down, flat 15, match speed, landing checklist, start switches, recall, speed brake, arm green light, landing gear, down 3 green, auto brake is set to 3, flat 30, 175 knots. Flaps, 30 green light, lights are waiting for our landing clearance, checks complete. So looking here, just get the auto throttle. See, yeah, this is, I explained, they need to sort this out. This variable wind thing, it's not how wind behaves in real life, and it has a real negative effect on the performance of the aircraft.
Treble 8901, contact approach 118.
So whether we're going to have to rely on active sky to fix that, don't know yet. Well, I need a lot of thrust here to get above VREF. Disconnecting autopilot. Oh, yoke cam, sorry guys. There we go. But the ILS glide slope and pappies do match really nicely in this sim. They don't often have that in Microsoft Flight Simulator. There seems to be a pappy glide slope mismatch, especially when you get below 400 feet. Wind percent's a little bit high, speed's a little bit. So a lot more thrust required. Very draggy at the moment.
Alpaca 1-2 X-ray. Papa, go around, let's say again. Go around, acknowledge.
Going around, Alpaca 1-2 X-ray Papa. I don't know why, but go around. Flat 15.
X-ray Papa, contact approach 118.
Stay ground for us. Yeah, so he's telling me I'm flying the aeroplane at the moment, so it's to positive rate of climb, gear up.
Minus Tower, good evening. Alpaca 1 Alpha.
400 feet, LNAV.
Established ILS 27 descending on the glide.
Stone speed brake. Very nice so far. Very nice so far.
Hello, continue approach.
There's the 15 bug, flat 5.
Roger, continue approach. Alpaca 1 Alpha November.
Sorry, Alpaca 1-2 X-ray Papa. Just confirm the frequency again.
118.6.
118.6 Alpaca 1-2 X-ray Papa. Speed to you a bit. There's flat 5 bug, flap 1. So no auto throttle, so I have to do it manually in the 7.3. This is 10 out of 10 so far though, the missed approach. Really good. And flaps up, it should command 222 knots now. Approach allow Alpaca 1-2 X-ray Papa is going around standard missed approach, runway 27.
Alpaca 1-2 X-ray Papa, awareness, Logan, climb 6,000 feet, turn left heading 220.
I'm 6,000 feet, left 220, Alpaca 1-2 X-ray Papa. So 6,000 feet, heading select 220 on a radar control. The missed approach has been flawless. The FMA enunciations, everything here has been absolutely perfect. Now my operator, we hand fly all missed approaches until the missed approach attitude. You cannot engage the autopilot now, and the auto throttle. Just best bear in mind if you do that, you might get N1, and the aircraft will climb really quickly. The missed approach has been absolutely flawless with the mod. Go around actions I did as we brief, exactly what I do at my operator as well. So we've got 4.6 tons of fuel, we need 3 tons to divert, so we've still got at least 30 minutes, 1 to go, so just reducing thrust here.
1,000 to go.
Take 220. Absolutely spot on by ZIBO, the missed approach here has been sensational. Really good.
So
out quiet, as you lower the nose, slowly reduce thrust to maintain 220 knots. Don't forget when you level off, you re-engage your autopilot, don't forget the auto. Left 170 degrees, Alpaca 1-2 X-ray Papa. So auto throttle, autopilot, or the other order, and 170 degrees. After takeoff checklist, so gears off, auto brake leave sector 3. Ooh, the front disconnected there. I think there's a bit of noise on my thrust levers. Oh, it's the 80s coming in. Off, auto brake 3, speed brake standard 10s. And altimeters 992, 6,000 feet. After takeoff checks complete. We just need to put the approach back in the FMC now. To ILS 27, Exilda. Just going to redirect to Zilda, execute, so it's back in the FMS, all ready for another approach. The transition level must be a bit higher today. Let's just up that to, it's 80? Why is that saying amber? Not so sure why that's amber when the transition level's 80, we're maintaining 6,000 feet. There you go. No reason for the go around. No, I don't know why. I think the aircraft might have still been on the runway, not sure. Listen to me, your disappointment on the go around command was measurable. Okay. Oh dear, definitely a woo from ATC. There you go. We're on vectors now. Let's see what happens. Again, fuel. We have 4.5 tons. We need 3 tons to divert. We then talk to the cabin crew. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, well, first cabin crew, you know what happened yet. We're told to go around by ATC. We'll, when it's fine, we'll make a second approach. We've got enough fuel for a second approach there. Ooh, look at the weather. And ground down there. And then we do a PA. So, ladies and gentlemen, for flight at Captain speaking, sorry for the missed approach. ATC advises to go around to the last minute. We'll making a second approach in the next 10 minutes. Sorry for the inconvenience. We'll be on the ground shortly. There you go.
Alpaca 1 Alpha November on frequency.
Roger, go ahead, Alpaca 1 Alpha November.
What's the situation here?
1 Alpha November, unfortunate situation here as you see. Turn left heading 1.
What's going on here?
6000.
Left heading 170 degrees. And,
2 formation flying.
Alpaca 1
And
Alpha
we need to
November.
be slotted in with this traffic here. So we're going to be behind this guy. This is why we take extra fuel on these VATSIM events.
So 380.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. While the cop has no lights at all. Big issues with lighting at the current version of Explain 12. They are aware, Laminar research, and they say I'm going to fix it. Otherwise, you do need your night vision goggles. Fly by. Where am I?
Easy 301 Bravo, flight level 060, inbound waypoint negative.
Altitude, sir, altitude.
Alpaca 1 Alpha November, stop climb for traffic.
Go around, all around. I know, bit of a nightmare there.
1 Alpha November.
Fully established. First DC 301 Bravo, approach low, turn left heading 250.
Yeah, super busy here as well.
Turn left heading 250,
It's 11
easy
degrees, so I don't need
301 Bravo.
to convention.
Number 81, contact tower 119.4. American 4 tower number 1. Alpaca 1 to X-ray Papa, left heading 060 degrees.
Left 060 degrees, Alpaca 1 to X-ray. Now I'm going downwind. There we go. Fighter without real improvement to the scenery, X-plane is no option for most simmers. Yeah, you know, so some people, they just value the quality of the scenery, and that's absolutely fine. I think a lot of people get a lot of enjoyment out of that. And you have got some really awesome aircraft, there's no denying that. I think personally the sim has a future. I think in its current state here, early access, there's a lot of room for improvement for the textures and lighting and everything. It's all a bit over the place, but for me, aircraft just simply handle better in this sim. I can't explain why, they just do. I have been sat in aeroplanes 5,500 hours flying. It just is there.
Flight level 170, turn left heading 170.
We've reselected the approach, we know how much fuel we've got. We've got 4.4, remember 3 tons we need to divert to Oslo. So we're still good on fuel. And if I took standard fuel for this sector, you'd really have to think about making a second approach, not really based on why you went around. If it was weather, yeah, you wouldn't be confident on making a second approach, but you take extra fuel in those situations anyway. That's the first go around we've done.
Alpaca 1 to X-ray Papa, speed 220 knots.
Speed 220 knots, Alpaca 1 to X-ray Papa. That's what we're doing. So
Alpaca 1 Alpha November, speed 220 knots.
Speed 220 knots, Alpaca 1 Alpha November.
This is something I have to say. I like the clouds more than the IMS ones. Are you mad?
Nordic 4 Whiskey Bravo, turn left heading
I mean, in the clouds like this, I think there's real depth to them, so that I do prefer. But the actual look at high altitude, yeah, not great. But then again, when Microsoft Flight Simulators came out, the clouds were a little pixely, aren't they? They're much better now.
Hasn't
DCS got the best? Hasn't DCS got the best clouds? Some people keep telling me.
Resume on navigation, easy 301 Bravo.
Cotton candy clouds.
301 Bravo, confirm direct Osmib.
Direct Osmib for easy 301 Bravo.
Brilliant.
Welcome.
Thanks for subscribing there. Hoxie Man trademark. Oh my god, it's black out there now though. Is this some soot? It's like this is what it'd be like flying an 1880s Great Britain in the Industrial Revolution.
And that is one Bravo Roger, turn right heading 190.
Turn right heading 190, easy 301 Bravo.
So who went around? I did, the EasyJet went around, an Alpaca went around, many aircraft have landed recently.
Alpaca 1 Alpha November, climb 6,000 feet.
Climb altitude 6,000 feet, Alpaca 1 Alpha November.
Nordic 4 Whiskey Bravo, turn left heading 310, cleared ILS runway 27. ILS 312 and cleared ILS.
That's what happens when you have to light your cockpit with lanterns.
Nordic 4 Whiskey Bravo. Nordic 4 Whiskey Bravo, from descent 4,000 for the glide field.
Brilliant.
Pending 4,000 for the glide, Nordic 4 Whiskey Bravo.
Approach good evening, reserve 225, passing 3,000 feet, have none to Bravo.
Excellent.
But
But yeah, missed approach, guys. Spot on.
170.
FMAs, everything. I disconnected the auto throttle, so you get no auto thrust. You just have to turn it on again, but no problem. Just set about 85–90%. That's more than sufficient. It's no Airbus. Where you just put the thing in climb, and that's it. Just raise the gear, make yourself a cup of tea.
Delta 380, clear direct exit. Left heading 7, Lufthansa 30. Back 1 to X-ray Papa, turn right heading 090.
Right 090 degrees, up back on to X-ray Papa. All delayed vectors. Usually they prioritise aircraft that got around. So aircraft that's sort of inbound.
Right heading 130 degrees, Alpaca 1 Alpha November.
Nordic 768, report speed.
Fucking this 8 is coming through.
Nordic 768, roger. Maintain 180 until 60 me, contact tower 119.4.
You know what we hear, 6,220, maybe a smidge too much thrust here, 62, I'd probably expect 57, 58. It's pretty close, clean to 26,000. Yeah, actually, it's coming back a little bit, actually, so the thrust is pretty good now. So I think ZIBO was saying the drag model clean is pretty much all sorted in X-Plane 12. It's just when configured, it's a little bit too much drag.
Descending 6,000 feet, Lufthansa 37. Easy 301 Bravo. What's your next point, waypoint that you have in flight plan?
Was he slotting me behind this guy? 5 mile separation.
The next waypoint I have in my flight plan is Optimum. Easy 301 Bravo.
So easy 301 Bravo, that's the point I asked for you earlier, but roger, resume all navigation direct order.
Shot. Voice activated. Now this looks like I'm flying down a blood vessel or something. So dark.
Nordic 4 Whiskey Bravo, contact tower 119.4.
Yeah, this is...
19.4, Nordic 4 Whiskey Bravo.
This is dark.
301 Bravo, contact Polaris
I said this is
119.550.
Victorian England. What's happened? It's just, no, right. What is this I'm flying through? This is literally the lantern. All the soot in the window now. Oh dear. You are close to Icelandic volcanoes. It could be blowing up. Stupid condition. I don't want to be on this heading anymore.
Lufthansa 380, descend via exit, the transition cleared ILS runway 27. Descending via exit, the transition cleared ILS 27, Lufthansa 380. Alpaca 1
301 Bravo, contact 118.550. Thank you for your service and have a nice night.
Alpaca 1 to X-ray Papa, turn left heading 360 degrees.
Left 360 degrees, Alpaca 1 to X-ray Papa. Don't know who is really bad
Alpha November, turn left to 090 degrees.
Very, very smoky in here. Wait, hold on, I've got that. There you go. We've got more.
445 Foxtrot, approach low, identify accept level 170. And level 170,
Oh dear.
Approach, good evening, Nordic 902.
This is this is insane. This is bad. That is not good. And if I was flying and went through, it was during the dusk, and it went like this, I'd be extremely concerned. So yeah, this will be fixed. Let's hope. Is this what happens when a Dementor comes towards you or something? Left 310 degrees, Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa. It is so dark.
Alpaca 1 Alpha November, turn left heading 360.
Left heading 360 degrees, Alpaca 1 Alpha November.
I've got random ATIS going off. But it's along with the dark cockpit, it makes it very difficult to see anything. I'm getting vectored straight onto this approach again. Thank God for ILS, I know. Oh, look what's going on. Get me out of this smoke.
Approach Alpaca 1 Alpha November, for your information, we are declaring minimum fuel.
Ooh.
Alpaca 1 Alpha November, roger, probably this will be the only approach you need.
He's going to commit to his destination. Is he going Mayday? 992, how? That's some low pressure. I feel a storm coming.
November, flight level 120.
We've got enough for another go around, really. We need 3 tons. What's that for me? Yeah, 3 tons.
Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa, descend 4,000 feet, cleared ILS runway 27.
Said 4,000 feet, cleared ILS 27, Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa. Right, cleared ILS, correct sensing arming Vorlock, vertical speed 500, gonna go flap 1.
Minus approach low, descend 6, cushion, 7,000 feet, QNH 9902. Descend 7,000 feet, QNH 9902. Great spot 669. Base 445, Foxtrot contact, Polaris 118.550.
Quite low on the glide slope, yeah, we've lost VNAV as well. We've got a top descent point, 4,700, interesting. We're in descending now, it's fine. When we get to 4.7, it'll probably reactivate. No poke today. Explain to anything about the fixed ILS range. Seems to be alright, look, 18 miles. It's been alive for a while, maybe they have increased the range. Localizer alive. Glide slip alive. Localizer capture. Runway heading 266 set. We did a chimney sweep for the windows, I think. I think we need more than that. Jean-Claude, why do you press localizer first and approach? I always just press approach. Is that wrong? It's not wrong at all, but when you're quite far out like this, the ILS becomes less accurate. You typically want to arm the ILS, 10 miles, no earlier than 15. In reality, it can scallop a lot. You can have aircraft landing or crossing the runway, and it can make the localizer move, and the further you're out. The 737 certainly is very aggressive on maintaining pitch and staying on the glide slope. So typically it's armed, when you're on glide at 15 miles, that's fine, arm approach, but certain airports you actually avoid arming it before 10 miles. There's VNAV. Too party. Glide slope capture, missed is 4,706. 180 till 6, Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa. That's fine, it's a little faster than you typically get in reality. 160 till 4 is the standard speed, so we'll do that, 180 till 6, and then we'll go straight to the flat 5 speed at 6 miles. That's the source of the fire from all this smoke. Oh dear. But yeah, flat 5 drag here and a 3.4 degree. Yeah, maybe a smidge too draggy. Yeah, exactly, Listerman. But that's doable. 180 till 4 is. It is, but not without making a mess and being destabilised.
Scanner 4193, there's a bird below identified cloud flight level 170.
I heard Jack Curly, yeah, Felix 74's been updated. That's awesome. One of my favourite
Alpha 1 Alpha November, speed 180 until 60 ME.
Speed 180 knots until 60 ME. 1 Alpha November.
It might as well be night time. Now you see now it's getting darker, the lighting's improving in the mod. At pitch black when it's a bit of a night, the lighting's actually okay. It feels like flying to Dante's Inferno. Anyway, it's been no traffic ahead of us.
2500.
Autoland is no, we're fine, we don't need to do an autoland. Let's just have a look at the weather again. It's scattered 500. That's it. So 200 AGL. Forget one. Has Saruman taken over Trondheim? There's other mythical evil characters available. Right, he said 180 till.
1 2 X-ray Papa contact tower 119.4.
119.4. Alpaca 12 X-ray. Papa bye.
Okay, für Yankee Short Hotel 1216, Lufthansa 30, thank you.
Good. So coming up to 6 miles. Perfect. So we'll bring the speed back to our flat 5 speed. I'm going to go flat 10. Well, I don't know if I'll see it. It's still in this soot.
Clear for takeoff. We stay with you, Jet 60 Alpha.
It's on my hand, off.
Tau, hello, it's Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa. Establish ILS 275 miles. Well, it's raining, but get the wipers on.
Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa, continue approach.
Continue approach, Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa. It does actually move the rain, but it's not very clear. This is horrible. Right, gear down. Flat 15. Match speed, landing checklist. Star switches, twinkle, speed brake. Flaps 30.
Roger, just on to approach as well. Continue approach number 2.
Speed brakes a little bit too
Continue approach number 2, Alpaca 1 Alpha November, thank you.
Flaps, we've got 30 green light, waiting for our landing clearance. This is a dull old day. Scattered 500 rain. Now I'm below the clouds, it looks a bit better. It's a lot of noise from my speed brake here.
Papa wind 23 degrees, 1 knots, runway 27 clear to land.
Way 27 clear to land, Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa. Good lands. I thought that was the autopilot disconnecting. It's not. It's flaps. Makes the 18 bumps. Fun fact, close to Vernes Airport in the small village. Hell, coincidence? I don't know. Right, jet is complete. Thanks for your continued support, buddy. Right. Oh, look at this. Right, disconnecting auto throttle, disconnecting autopilot.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr.
Jedi? Oh, I'm stowing the speed brake. I think there's too much noise on that. Quadrants.
Thanks for the service.
Just have to manually extend it. So, pitch is good. Thrust a little bit more than I'd expect. Flat 30 this way. We should be around 55%. We've got about 65, but ZIBO's told me, yeah, there's too much drag with gear and flaps and X-Plane 12 at the moment, so that will be fixed. Looking good here.
400.
Smidge high. Just realised my thrust. Oh. I was holding the thrust pretty well. Checked. Oh, rate of descent's a little bit too high.
Minimum
Continue.
200.
But remember, it is a 3.4, so you probably need about 850, 900 to stay on it. Yeah, the runway looks superb.
100.
Whoops.
40, 30.
Very low, the threshold. Oh, that was messy. Come on. Oh, just about a speed brakes up, reverses. You know what happens when we get a butter?
Hello, sexy banana. Very good, very nice.
Speed brakes up, reverses, 83. Manual braking.
Hello, Nicki Minaj.
60. There we are, all set up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trondheim. We'll take the next high speed. There, we're down eventually. Stop raiding now.
I'll go 5516 on frequency.
It's been a while since we've done that. Yeah, landing performance though, roll out there was very nice. Very much felt like Order Break 3. Ground handling on this is so much nicer.
X-ray Papa, taxi via Yankee Hold Short Hotel, contact ground 121.6.
Yankee Hold Short Hotel and ground 118.6, Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa, bye.
Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa, negative
118,
121.6.
Sorry, 121.6, Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa, bye. Yeah, that was the approach frequency. There we are, 121.6 is up. Welcome to Trondheim, Terminal Yankee 1. And we need to hold short of hotel. So the default airports here are mega. They do look so good. Yeah, that approach was a bit messy. Oh, look at the reflections. That's good. That's great. This is a winner. So yeah, pitch there. It's just nowhere near effective enough to the mod. So I was having to do. I was making. Oh, my yoke came back on. Making big pitch inputs there and very little change. In fact, I did that and I still got a sync rate. That needs a lot of work. At the moment, it's still nowhere near as effective. But mod, ZIBO knows about that. I'd say right now the PMDG and Microsoft Flight Simulator is probably handling better with the inputs, or the mod in X11 still, but does need work. So now it's dark. It's actually illuminating a lot nicer. Oh, I actually had the retracts off there for the approach. Whoops. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the. That's better. Right, we'll better check in with Tower here. Ground. Hello, Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa, taxiway Yankee.
Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa, minus ground, hello, taxi Yankee, hold short Juliet.
Yankee hold short of Juliet, Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa. So Juliet's all the way down here. So we're going to go past the main part of the terminal. I guess we're going down here.
Juliet Yankee, holding point runway 27.
And this is default airport, guys. All the correct stand numbers, guidance. It's A380. My goodness me. Beefy. A380 usually spell bad news. Excellent. What do you think of X-Plane 12 then? I think it needs a lot of work with the graphics and things, but on the ground it's a pleasure. It's really great.
Ground Amp1, hello again, stand 31. With the information, Sierra on board Boeing 738, requesting clearance to Bodo.
Bodo, we've been there before.
Number 31, Venice ground, low clearance on request.
Again, please.
Your number 1, correction, number 2 for clearance, standby.
Ah, there's an alpaca tail. Look at these aircraft busy VATSIM event. The ground physics on this is beautiful, really nice.
Ground, very good evening, Alpaca 1 Alpha November, vacated 27 Alpha 4, and taxiing on Yankee to hold short hotel. Alpaca 1 Alpha November, taxi Venice ground, taxi hotel, stand 25.
So, there's the A340. We've got a Norwegian coming out as well.
12 X-ray Papa, once the Norwegian 737 comes out of no Juliet, taxi Juliet, stand 45.
Once Norwegian's clear, taxi Juliet, stand 45, Alpaca 1. Once Norwegian's clear, Juliet, stand 45, Alpaca 12 X-ray Papa. I was pressing the wrong button. There's the NAS. Yeah, 80 was great. Ground physics here. We've got about 32%. We are hardly moving. Is it uphill here? It is a little bit. You see it's uphill. See how the altitude is slightly above the line, which is why I need more thrust. It's definitely downslope landing on that runway. That's so I was thinking, why am I moving so slow? But this is where this sim excels. You know, we're going uphill. This amount of thrust, it feels like I'm going uphill. Sometimes you need 40% if you're to just get the aircraft moving. Anyway, Juliet's coming up. Stand 45. Look at that, it's a big stand.
Cross runway 27, hold short Yankee. 546. Speedbird 721 is ready for taxi.
Yeah, for default airport is superb.
Just hold position there for a minute.
A340 wing strike though is an issue here.
We've got a few aircraft parked in the field, it looks like. Okay, do you have any stand available on your right?
So I don't know if an A340 is meant to be there. I would not be taxiing.
Yeah, there could be a stand between the Norwegian and the aircraft on its right hand side. Yeah, just take that stand. Perfect, thank you very much.
Yeah, this taxi light illumination. Look, if I make a right turn, look how it illuminates on the aircraft as well. Look. Dangerous.
Holding point. What was it? Holding point runway 27. Point runway 27.
This is just like taxiing at night. They've actually got the lighting here on point.
Monitor 119.4, shuttle fire, Sierra Sierra.
This is perfect. Night lighting at night is spot on. I can't fault it here. It's just at dusk, it's just a bit broken. I presume it's a stand 45.
Let's concentrate, hello, pilot's ground, hello, number 3 for clearance.
Definitely got any marshals or anything, no. But yeah, night lighting, TRA, thanks.
Minimums. Approaching minimums.
Ground, hello again, Nordic 47 Yankee. Nordic 47 Yankee, pilot's ground, hello, good. 47 Yankee, for my center, on clearance, to Oslo. Nordic 47 Yankee, number 4 for clearance.
Perfect. Parking brake sets. Yeah, look at this. When it gets to night time, lighting spot on. Spot on. They just need to fix it for dusk and dawn. This is excellent. Like the lighting at night is as it should be. This is excellent. They just need to fix it at dawn and dusk.
119.4. 119.4.
Cabin crew disarm slides open doors.
Spirit 7821, taxi Yankee, holding point runway 27. Taxi Yankee, holding point runway 27.
20% N2 we wait for. I'll catch up with chat in a second, guys. Excellent job. ATC was very good. Anti-call off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trondheim. There we are. Excellent. Really enjoyed that. Certainly room for improvement. But this is early days of this simulator. It's only been out, what, a week? I think it was a week ago we streamed it first time, and very excited, really genuinely very excited to see how this develops. Look at the airport. The airports are amazing. The default airports are extraordinarily good, and the night lighting at proper night time, excellent. It's just a shame that 25-30 minutes previous, flying around Trondheim, it was like I said, it was like a Victorian era cloud. Or scenery, it was all over the place. But yeah, the mod as well, handling is quite tricky. I got a sync rate, which is a terrain caution. When you got a rate set around 1100 feet, you can have that as long as you immediately correct. But the pitch is lacking a lot of authority at the moment in the sim. And I know that's something ZIBO's going to address. Let's have a look here then. Hoi 345, 30 months. Glad I caught the end of the stream. Funny enough, I flew out of Tallinn on Sunday, Monday. There you go. Just fancied flying out of Estonia. It was a nice flight time. Oh, you joined as a member again. I don't know if you rejoined or just staying on for another month or so, but thank you very much there. Yeah, night lights look very good. Could you demonstrate the amount of control column movement that the real aeroplane needs in the flare? Check out, Sandro, any of my X-Men 11 ZIBO mod streams where it's pretty spot on, or my Boeing Thrustmaster yoke review video where I have a much more detailed picture of the yoke cam, but you see the inputs I'm making are very close to the real aircraft, uncannily so. Yes, this is default scenery. Does anyone know how to connect client to sim using XPI UI PC? I don't know, John Mark. I am using it for the Fly Live overlay above here, but I just copied it from X-Men 11, and I remember it being a right pain to install in the past. Anon, thanks for the 9 months. Oh my days. Well, that was a hectic one. Almost had to divert and had an easy cleared takeoff when I was 3 miles out. I did see that. That was perhaps a little error. Well, a little error. It was a bit of an error on ATC's part there. Yeah, if you're at 3 mile finals clearing to take off, that's going to be minimal spacing. He needs to immediately take off, and if you then subsequently go around as you did, the spacing is insufficient. Very dangerous. There we are. So yeah, Explain 12 is available now. I should think this version of ZIBO mod will be available very soon as well. It was a pre-release test version. Again, improved on the launch release version, but there's a lot of work still needed in the mod to bring it up to speed as it is in Explain 11 for Explain 12. Right then, let's call that a day. We'll turn that down here. I have to say, yeah, look, the default airports and lighting at night is excellent. And look at all the aircraft here on VATSIM as well. Super busy event. What aircraft's that? Oh, is that an Airbus? China Eastern. Malev's here. Got a Scandi. Got Air Algea. FMC Airlines. Oh, AMC Airlines. A SAS. There's a few spare gates here, but just the right amount of traffic. See the aircraft on final here on VATSIM. So yeah, I think I might use X-Plane 12 a little more now. Whether I use X-Plane 11 again, I don't know. It's certainly pointing in all the right directions. Let's see how it develops over the following months. Right, let's turn that off here and cue the funky replay music. It should be working correctly. Or is it? No, I forgot to mute it last stream, so it might not be working. Oh, it should be. I just had it turned right down. There we go. Flawless as ever. There we go. It's working. Oh yeah, there's an aircraft landing in the background as well. Well, he gets some funky replay music. I hope it's clear enough to see. Look at A380 doing it. Quite floaty. I think it's downslope here. But you can see, look, the airport lighting illuminating on the aircraft as well. That's excellent. Right, let's have a look at that. No crashes yet. Let's have a look at it and see how it looks. I like how the approach lights are blinking quickly as well.
150, 40.
Yeah, I think the night lights. Oh no, it is there.
Yeah.
Now that is excellent. That feels like I'm landing at some obscure place in the winter. I don't know if the replay wipes work. That's superb. The night lighting. That for me. I'm sorry guys. I know X-Plane 12 Microsoft Flight Simulator overall looks amazing. It really does. But that looks better. You can't deny it. I mean,
200.
That looks better. It just does with the lights and the.
50, 40, 30.
That looks
20.
Very, very good. And see how the aircraft's behaving, like with all my little inputs I'm making. This is again why I like this sim so much, guys. You know, I'm making little rudder inputs here in the flare. Got a little crosswind, pitching. See how the aircraft behaves. There's the rudder. It's behaving as it should. I reduced the rudder and just sort of yaws back into its position. Yeah, that is. I'm sorry. You can't deny that looks incredible. Once they get these cloud textures sorted, the lighting sorted, it's going to look really good. See, the retract lights are stowed. Oh, that was resplendent. It's just better. The runway's really downslope, but it's sort of a bit jumpy as well. That's excellent. Shame the retracts stay retracted though. Yeah, that look at the reflections at the back. Puddles. They've definitely nailed it with that one. I'm really enjoying doing replays. Oh no, the tower's not really the best one, unfortunately. Let's get you some proper reverser sound here. Enjoy this. Look at the lights on the fuselage. It's like I'm stood there. We've got a good sim here coming, guys. We really do. Right, anyway, that's enough of that. I could do that all night. Let's pop yourselves here in a lovely wing view so you can enjoy that landing from a perspective. A passenger, the perspective of the left-hand side. And now the lighting and the scenery looks epic. It looks like we're landing in the autumn. In these inclement conditions, it's just that dusk dawn lighting is very broken, that's all. But that looks absolutely beautiful. I think you're going to really enjoy watching this landing now. Right then, guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed me streaming the ZIBO mod in X-Plane 12. Hopefully this version will be available very soon. Of course, X-Plane 12 is now available in early access. You can grab that at a time convenient to you if you so wish. But again, I'd probably wait a little bit longer until there's been improvements. X-Plane 11 is still a very solid simulator. Probably going to jump into Microsoft Flight Sim again in the PMDG 737. Nice to compare, having flown the mod a couple of times in X-Plane 12. Might fire off a stream on the Airline Pilot Plays channel. I will promote that on my socials as well. But if you want to stay up to date with the content on this channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like the video as well. Thank you very much to everyone, as usual, to, I think it was Matthew at the start, for the 20 gifted subs. That was very generous as well. Thank you very much indeed. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you all on another live stream very soon. Cheerio.
Connection terminated.